4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Smith here, along with Kirsten Fairchild, Stephen Davies, and James Davies, as we get set to broadcast the 2012 CCS Boys Volleyball Division I Championship match, which will square off the 3-seed Bellarmine Bells out of San Jose against the number 1 seed St. Francis Lancers out of Mountain View. It's been an interesting Division I bracket so far, but St. Francis has lived up to their number 1 hype as they have made quick advancement to get to this game. Bellarmine has had to struggle a little bit in their games, but they are here. Bellarmine, who has won the Division I title 5 years running, looking to make it 6 straight, where St. Francis has only won the title once. They're looking to get their 2nd title, and they have beaten Bellarmine 3 times already this season. So familiar foes they are, and that's where I'll bring in my color analyst, Kirsten Fairchild. Kirsten, you live out here in the CCS region. You've probably seen these two teams go at it more than I have. What have you noticed from both squads?
Well, I happen to be present for the St. Francis only CCS title. In fact, working, and Bellarmine, as you mentioned, collects CCS titles like they're daisies out of a field. But Bellarmine has its work cut out for them. This is the 4th meeting between these two teams this season. St. Francis won the first meeting in 5 sets, swept the Bells in the 2nd meeting, and then needed 5 sets once again to beat the Bells. And Bellarmine head coach Scott Peterson, I asked what the difference was in those close matches, and he said, you know, sometimes the points just don't go your way. But there is such a deep rivalry between these two schools. No matter what the sport, both teams are ready, prepared, and up for this one.
Yeah, 2 West Catholic Athletic League participants. The rivalry even extends beyond the schools, as their club teams that both coaches coach for respectively, as Scott Peterson coaches for Bay to Bay Volleyball Club, and Mike Rubin coaches for the Mountain View Volleyball Club, and they're rivals even there as well. And sometimes you have the participants from both teams playing for either squad. So it will be an interesting match. These teams are very familiar with each other. Bellarmine has the 11th time CCS Boys Volleyball title champs. That is the most by far out of any school in the Central Coast section. And they're looking for their 6th in a row. Meanwhile, St. Francis in the title match for the first time since 2008 when they won their only title. St. Francis led by their amazing is the first word that comes to mind. There's so many words you can describe him as, but James Shaw, he is their opposite hitter, a senior, 6'8", Stanford bound. It goes in his bloodline, as his dad was a head coach for USA Volleyball. His sister plays for St. Mary's Volleyball, so volleyball in the bloodlines of the Shaw family, and he is their go-to guy. Whereas for Bellarmine, they're led by Scott Peterson, who has been head coach of the Bellarmine volleyball team since 2008. He's an alum, so he knows this program inside and out, not only as a coach but as a player. And every year since he has been the head coach, they have won titles, so you know, this is a very familiar place for him, and I'm sure a loss tonight would be a complete shock to his psyche, as he's not used to losing the big game. And so we'll see if he can keep his own streak alive, let alone the team streak here throughout the CCS run. Folks, we're going to take a quick breather as it's time for the national anthem, and then we'll come back. You're listening to Volleyball here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here. Independence High School, the host school for this CCS championship game for the Division I between the 3-seeded Bellarmine Bells and the top-seeded St. Francis Lancers. The St. Francis Lancers colors are white and brown, and Bellarmine white and blue. The starters on the floor for St. Francis will be this. Zach Matson is the libero. Elliot Lowe will be their setter. Jeff Costello is an outside hitter, along with George Elenikiotis. The middle hitter will be Hawken Ellingbo. The middle back will be Matt Larson. And one of the opposite hitters, Stanford-bound 6'8" senior James Shaw. As for Bellarmine, they are represented like this. More than likely you will see this starting combination on the floor. Aiden Crockett, who will play the outside hitter position, also an opposite hitter. He's a senior. Kyle Supis, middle back. He'll be out there, along with Jason Bazul, the libero and defensive specialist, all three of them seniors. You'll see a couple juniors out there on the floor in Mark Lund and Ryan Reschke, outside hitter and middle back. And also Kevin Korb and Josh Stewart will get a lot of run. Actually, they are in there instead, the opposite hitter and setter for the Bellarmine Bells. Bellarmine, both teams in white jerseys, so it might be kind of confusing. We could tell the difference between the two squads because Bellarmine has their libero in a blue jersey with light blue striping down the sides. And for St. Francis, they have the yellow jersey with brown numbers and white striping on the shoulders.
I'm always surprised when this happens in volleyball that you would never, ever see this in basketball, and you see this in or any other sport, but in volleyball, both teams are allowed to wear white uniforms, and it's always so surprising to me. I guess the net separates them so well, the officiating crew doesn't have any problems distinguishing.
Bellarmine will start to the right of the net, as St. Francis will start to the left. Some high-fiving going on for St. Francis right now. Bellarmine's jerseys are pretty cool. They're tank tops, cutoffs.
Yeah, sleeveless.
Meanwhile, St. Francis with a bit of a short sleeve on their jerseys. And St. Francis will start with the ball.
Bellarmine did not include heights in their roster, but I don't believe James Shaw at 6'8" is the tallest player on the floor. Number 7, Kyle Supis, who will sit this one out, only play around. I noticed when the two of them were standing at the net, Supis looked to have 2 inches on Shaw.
The ball being thrown in by the judges. I'll have to get that from Kirsten at the break. Kirsten doesn't have it as well, so it'll be Elliot Lowe. We'll get that as soon as we can for you, folks. Elliot Lowe to serve to begin this match, and he serves a service error to begin. So an unfortunate mistake for St. Francis to begin this game. Maybe nerves taking into consideration for Elliot Lowe, but Bellarmine will get the ball.
Bellarmine will take it.
And they'll start with a 1-0 advantage. Now serving for Bellarmine will be Josh Stewart. Stewart goes up high, nice serve, but he hits it deep, and so he has a service error in his own right.
Service errors are always so catching. Very contagious.
Yeah, the prior game that we broadcasted just a couple of minutes ago between Mount Madonna and Sacred Heart had a lot of service errors in that one, specifically for Mount Madonna. A ball that just gets tipped and deflects off the net by number 23 for Bellarmine, that being Josh Stewart getting the point. And he gets the point and now the serve for his Bellarmine Bells. 2-1 the score. Aiden Crockett to serve. He is the captain of this Bell squad. St. Mary's does a good job of keeping the ball in the air afloat. And it's Josh Shaw going up. And Josh Shaw hitting it a bit too deep. And so the stellar Stanford-bound senior, an error in his own right. 3-1 now, Bells.
Little nerves from both sides of the court early on. A lot of errors.
St. Francis looking to get a point, and it's Shaw with a shot right at Bellarmine, and they cannot handle that. Shaw with his first kill of the game. 3-2.
He is their offense. It is all built around him. He will get probably X amount more swings than anyone else on his team.
2 serving 3 now. as digging that one out for Bellarmine, digging out the serve, was number 22, Kevin Core, but in that effort, he hit the ball out of bounds, and so now the game is tied at 3-all. So Zach Matson keeps serve for the Lancers. Hits it over the net, and a bit right of the antenna and the line there, so point goes to the Bells, serve goes to the Bells, and the lead goes to the Bells, 4-3.
7 points, 3 have been service errors. Not a good start.
Avery Aylesworth serves it for the Bells. I'm sorry, make that Jason Bazul.
And there's Kyle Supos with a solo block. Supos will be headed to Pepperdine in the fall, the middle blocker.
Kyle Supos with the block, and his team now up by 2, 5-3. A tap over to the Bellarmine side. They're trying to keep it in bounds. They do.
That outside the antenna.
Or actually, they were outside the antenna. They were playing on as if there was nothing wrong, and then the main referee signaled a late call there, saying out of bounds. So now the serve and ball back to the Lancers, trailing 4-5. It's Shaw for the serve. Shaw taps it over the line, and now Bellarmine will play it. The overhand tap, not good. Block is good by St. Francis.
Matt Larson and Elliot Lowe putting up the block on the right side.
And so, once again, Shaw will serve. He was the 2012 WCAL Player of the Year this year. Gets up really high on his serves and then lunges forward to hit the ball.
So that's a mistake by Larson. The serve caused the overpass, however, hit it wide. So another hitting error by St. Francis early.
6-5 now the score in favor of Bellarmine. And it's number 4 to serve that being Josh Nolan. Nolan with those bright neon shoes. And a nice tap there by, I believe it was Supis.
Yeah, actually the setter, Stewart, went for the dump. Great timing. Floor was empty, and he made it pay.
Supis and Crockett playing effectively for Bellarmine. They lead 7-5. Nolan will keep serve for his Bells. St. Francis setting it up for Shaw.
That's playable as long as it comes down on the same side of the net. Boy, there's a lot going on up on the ceiling here of this gymnasium with the walkway and the breeway. And
Shaw with an absolute blast of a shot in which Bellarmine hit the ball and it touched the ceiling of the gymnasium, the roof of this gymnasium. As Kirsten said, it was playable, but they couldn't play off it. And now a good rally going on between the Lancers and the Bells. Nice block by Supis, but St. Francis was ready for it. And now Shaw with the little dinker tap, and Bazul digs one out. Great play by the libero for Bellarmine. And then the point. The shot there by number 22, that being Kevin Korb, junior 6'3", comes up huge for Bellarmine.
Every time a team can win a long point, that is so emotionally motivating.
Kevin Korb named to the WCAL second team. Shaw with the deflection off of that being Josh Stewart, and then it falls into the ground for a point. So 7-8 now the score. St. Francis with the serve, trailing by 1.
We can expect Shaw to be set regularly behind the 10-foot line. That's something we didn't see effective in the D2 match. They didn't fall for kills, but Shaw will rack them up tonight, I'm sure.
And Avery Aylesworth with the serve for St. Francis, a freshman that was called up for the playoff run. His brother, Evan Aylesworth, also a member of this team. Shaw trying to kill one that deflected off the net but stayed in play for Bellarmine, and now back to St. Francis. Getting ready for Shaw once again, but another great defensive play by Bellarmine. A very contested rally here, and finally it is brought down on a hitting error by Aiden Crockett, and so now this game is tied. Serve remains with St. Francis.
Elliot Lowe, the setter for St. Francis, served up a beautiful jump back set to Shaw. It was absolutely magnificent during that play.
And some good work up front by both teams, but it's Aiden Crockett who gets the point.
Crockett will be playing for Ohio State next year.
Him and Supis, college bound, as Supis will be playing at Pepperdine.
Yeah, 2 D1 players.
9-8 the score. Bellarmine with the serve and the lead, and then Aiden Crockett just missing the inbounds line there as he was going for the soft touch.
Yeah. Game
now tied.
Rare mistake, an overpass by Shaw, but Crockett a little too careful on that play.
Served by St. Francis, handled well so far by Bellarmine. Nice dig out there by Elliott Lowe. And then finding the sweet spot with no one around in the Bellarmine backcourt was number 13, that being Ryan Schultz, who gets the point. 10-9 now, the lead going to St. Francis. Crockett trying to go for the kill. Instead, he was denied by James Shaw, 11-9.
What a decisive block by Shaw. But I'm sure Crockett is experienced enough to shake it off, continue swinging away.
Well, as Coach Peterson said, their main goal is just to slow Shaw down. They know he's going to get his kills, but they cannot have him be the overall deciding factor in this game. They're going to have other role players try to beat them. And Shaw with a devastating hit there. That is within the lines. 11, make that 12-9 the score. Fans loving it.
Everyone oohing and ahhing over James Shaw's abilities.
He has to wipe the sweat from his brow there. Elliott Lowe to serve. 12-9 is the score. And another block by James Shaw. A one-man wrecking ball right now for the Lancers, and that forces Coach Peterson into calling a timeout on the floor for his Bellarmine Bells, who trail 13-9 here in Game 1 of this Division I volleyball championship match for the CCS.
You can watch highlights or a replay of today's match in our on-demand section, and you can also buy a DVD or Blu-ray right on CIF-Central-Coast.tv. Click on Buy DVD, and you can order today's game right now. Have a match that lasts a lifetime. Brought to you by CIF-Central-Coast.tv. Are you looking for a great place to advertise your business while reaching the greater high school community? Then you would like to advertise on CIF-Central-Coast.tv. We have great rates for your business while giving you the opportunity to get your message out to a very important demographic. For more information, give us a call at area code 619-677-3246.
James Walker Shaw, born March 5th, 1994. Him and his family residing in Woodside, California, which isn't too far from Mountain View. His dad, Don Shaw, pretty good at volleyball in his own right. That's where James has really got most of his ability from, besides just working it out himself. And after a long rally there, the point goes to the Lancers.
The Bells blockers need to seal. That set was so far off the net.
And here is Elliott Lowe for the serve. His team up by 5, 14-9. Make that 15-9 on the service ace by Lowe.
Second ace of the match tonight for St. Francis. Also, however, 2 service errors.
A 6-point advantage, the largest of the evening. And now a dialed-up play there for Bellarmine. And they will get the point as Shaw's block goes wide. And so now 10 serving 15 your score. Bellarmine with the serve. It'll be Josh Stewart, the 6-foot junior. And another point.
Errors by Shaw.
Yeah, Shaw trying to go for the kill and hits it wide left. 11-15.
I think that set could have been a little higher for him.
And that's what it all comes down to, is getting the right sets for Shaw. And Crockett with a nice underhand or reverse toss over the net, and Shaw just too much.
Well, you want a player like Shaw to get up in the air and go after the ball, and to do that you need to set him properly. He's got a great big wingspan. He's 6'8". He's got some good humps. Setter has to get the ball up there.
I mean, no one else is even being set. The only sets are going to Shaw. And Crockett with the point there. That one does stay in the lines, and so nice job of Aiden Crockett finding that open spot just near the backcourt there. And it gives his Bells back to serve. 12 serving 16. And Crockett, the point getter, will also serve here. And James Shaw couldn't handle the serve there defensively. A service ace for Crockett. Now makes the score 13 serving 16.
First ace of the match for Bellarmine as Coach Mike Rubin wants to have a chat.
And so Rubin will have a chat, and I believe Kirsten has an announcement.
Would you like to have your game broadcast live on the internet and be able to watch it again and again on demand, all while making money for your sports program? Would you like to give your students the opportunity to create their own broadcasts for their school's athletic events? If so, then contact us at info@kbcsports.com. We offer season packages for schools, a full curriculum for your students, and an opportunity to raise up to $10,000 for your sports program. Again, contact us at info@kbcsports.com or give us a call at area code 619-677-3246.
Thank you, Kirsten. This is the fourth meeting between St. Francis and Bellarmine this season. And since 2009, there hasn't been a season in which they have met less than 3 times. 2010, they met 3 times exactly, but in 2011, they met 5 times, and in 2009, they played each other 6 times throughout the season. 13 serving 15 as we're back from the break. Bellarmine with the serve, and a nice hit there by number 20, I believe, for St. Francis. That point will go to Jeff Costello, who rock and rolls one right off of Jason Bazul. 17-13 now the score. St. Francis back with the set, and it will be Zach Matson, the libero, who hits it over the net. Nice underhand set. Another one now, and here's the Lancers going for the kill, but they do not get it because the block. The ball does go back to them. An interesting volley to say the least right now. And some blocks, and a really good one right at the end, credited to Bellarmine's number 22, that being Kevin Korb, being in the right place at the right time, Kirsten.
Boy, when you're playing against the best high school player in the country, that must be awful fun for the junior Korb. Highlight from this match.
14 serving 17 now as Bazul, the libero, serves one up.
You notice the setter always goes back. Such a good setter. You always go back to your players when they've had a mistake or they've been blocked. If you can set it up for them, and Elliott Lowe did just that.
The stellar Shaw collecting another point, and now he will serve. 18-14 is the score. His Lancers are out front by 4 here in this game 1 of the CCS Division I championship match for boys volleyball. Some great defense being played to keep the ball alive by Bellarmine, and also on St. Francis's end. Bazul hitting one up high, and now the set over for his teammate, that being number 4. That was Josh Nolan, who had a pretty good set, but overhit it there.
Absolutely overhitting. Long rally. Nolan gets an opportunity.
So Shaw will keep the serve for his Lancers. Rubin rubbing his head, knowing that he is going to be in for a dogfight no matter what the score in this match. And the set for someone other than Shaw this time.
Yeah, that's asking a little too much of Matson. Matson, whose head coach called him a human highlight reel as a libero. That one would make the highlight reel.
Matson, who was trying to set up Jeff Costello, but he ends up tapping it a bit too far to the left.
That's a difficult task for a full-time setter.
15 serving 19. Shaw's shot gets blocked, but out of bounds. And so the Lancers will get the serve back. They'll also get a point. 20-15 now. St. Francis smelling victory. They're not quite there yet, but they sure are getting a whiff of it at the moment. Bellarmine having to fight back, and they do with that kill of a shot. A ferocious hit ball there by Kevin Korb, and he has been the very bright spot on this Bellarmine Bells here in game one.
That's right, Korb unleashing some power. He has played very well here for the Bells, keeping him around.
The score now 16 serving 20 as Korb, who gets the point, also serves now for Bellarmine. And they force the Lancers into overhitting the ball, that being George Elenikiotis, who has the hitting error there, wide right. 17 serving 20 now. Korb retaining serve. Taking a long look in before putting that ball up in the air and now hitting it over. Who's Shaw is the first one to get a hand on it. And ultimately the point goes to the Lancers, number 21, Matt Larson, the middle back sophomore. And he was about to take a seat on the bench, clapping fire with everyone. Coach Rubin says, get back in there. Now he can exit. Had to make that, couldn't have that illegal substitution there.
Yeah. They got to, CCS, nothing is stricter than this championship match, as officials asking everyone to follow the rules.
21-17 now in favor of St. Francis, and once again, Bellarmine fighting back. It's Aiden Crockett, the Ohio State-bound senior, with the point. 18 serving 21 as a nice cross-court kill there from Crockett. Kyle Supis, the big guy, 6'8", to serve now for Bellarmine, who trails by 3 here in game one. And a nice kill for St. Francis. Elenikiotis, outside hitter.
Elenikiotis has had a few good swings there from the left side.
22 serving 18 is Lowe, the junior, getting ready to serve this one over. Nice little tap set for 13, that being Alex Keene, the senior middle back, who picks up the point. And now it's 19 serving 22. Bellarmine refusing to let St. Francis just run away with this game one. But they're going to have to start stringing together a couple of points, not just one here, one there, if they want to win this game. And that's how you do it. Hard hits at James Shaw, who is phenomenal, to say the least, offensively, but defensively, he has shown that he has a hard time getting balls sent his way. Maybe they need to keep doing that, hit him right at Shaw, and that forces Coach Rubin to call a timeout. 20 serving 22 is the score as we have a little bit of a breather. Kirsten.
Second ace of the match for Bellarmine, and a timely one indeed. Hey, fans, join us on Thursday for more boys volleyball action in Northern California as we bring you the Sac Joaquin Section Boys Volleyball Championships. The matches get underway on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. in the Sac Joaquin section. Go to CIF-Sacjoaquin.tv to see all the great matches as we determine this year's section champions. Across the court from the St. Francis boys team, the St. Francis girls team. In fact, Taylor Deaton, the middle blocker, who spent most of the season suffering from an injury. She'll be playing for Wake Forest next year as a middle blocker with the great side that says James Shaw is raw. Nice to see the Lancers girls, which have had so much success over the years, come on out and root on their boys team.
Yeah, they're equivalent to the Bellarmine of girls volleyball, as they have won themselves quite the number of championships in the Central Coast section. And Bellarmine hits the ball wide right. Jason Bazul, the defensive specialist and libero, not getting a good handle on that one. Gives the ball back to the Lancers, who lead by 3, 23-20, 2 points away from game point. And a touch going backwards for Bellarmine, not what they wanted there. And now the set for Shaw, who has his shot blocked, and now St. Francis once again in setting position for Shaw, who barely taps it over, and they're going to say that the ball was past the antenna, and so the point goes to the Bells. 21 now serving 23. It'll be Aiden Crockett to serve. Shaw was out of bounds when he went to go hit that ball. So we'll see what Crockett can do here. Bouncing that ball a number of times. And the service there.
That is brutal, giving St. Francis a set point.
24-21, St. Francis looking to capture game one. They have game point right now. It'll be to libero, Matson to serve. Matson puts it over the net, Crockett with the underhand bump. And now it's number 4 who gets a rifle of a shot there.
That pinball wizards,
but the ball's still in bounds, still in play. And Shaw goes to battle a shot by Korb, and he runs into the net. So Bellarmine will get the ball back. An error there by Shaw of running into the net. Korb was quick to look at the referee too.
Well, that's always dangerous when feet get tangled up. That's how a lot of injuries happen in volleyball.
And Shaw, once again, not ready for the ball that was hit towards him. But yet, his teammates do a good job of backing him up. And then it's the big man for Bellarmine, Supis, with the spectacular shot there. A nice little kill. And now it's 23 serving 24, and Bellarmine saying, not so fast, my friend, on game point. And now it's the libero for Bellarmine, that being Bazul. Jason Bazul getting it over the net, hits it right at the libero for the other team. Another block attempt there by Bellarmine, but it goes the wrong way as James Shaw picks up the point and picks up the win for his St. Francis Lancers here in game one. The final score, 25-23 in game one, so now the teams will switch sides on the court here. You are listening to boys volleyball action. It is the Division I championship game in the Central Coast section with St. Francis drawing blood first here, 25-23. I'll now turn it over to Kirsten Fairchilds.
KBCSports.com and the Play On Sports Network showcase great high school games every week. And now you can access our content using multiple platforms. Follow us on Facebook, get the latest KBC and Play On news on Twitter, or catch our highlights in high definition on YouTube. All of our content can now link to your favorite social media site. Share all the high school action you see every week, brought to you by your home for high school sports, KBCSports.com and Play On Sports. Do you need a highlight video for your athlete? Are they working to earn that 4-year scholarship? Then you want to contact KBCSports.com right now. We can provide recruiting video for any athlete in any sport. Not only that, but we give you your own recruiting page right on our website. No more mailing DVDs to colleges. Instead, email coaches the link to your personal page. For more information, including pricing, contact us at recruits@kbcsports.com or give us a call at area code 619-677-3246.
Bellarmine, who I'm looking at their jerseys right now. They're pretty cool. On the front, they have BCP for Bellarmine College Prep. And on the back is very noteworthy. They have their Bellarmine crest up top with the numbers in solid navy blue. And then below it, they have their school motto. They have the initials at least, AMDG, which stands for Ad Majorem Dei Gloriam, for the greater glory of God. They actually have a lot of mottos, as they have another one, Men for Others, Tradition, Wisdom, Justice. Those are their two other mottos, and they're sponsored by Quicksilver. They host the Quicksilver Cup every year, whereas St. Francis's jerseys are also white. And on the top of the back of their jerseys, it says St. Francis and has brown and yellow stripes, just solid brown numbers. And they have their anchor slash, it's like a cross into an anchor logo, their school logo, on the left sleeve of their jersey.
Michael, Bellarmine made St. Francis earn it on the 4th set point. Although it was only a 2-point differential, it really felt like the Bellarmine Bells were climbing uphill.
Yeah, and the Bellarmine Bells are going to have to climb uphill in this one. They know that they are going up against a mountain of a molehill in James Shaw. It almost seemed like Shaw had every one of those 25 points. I know he didn't, but it seemed as if he did have a hand in every point there. They really just set the ball up for him and just let him have it. They give him the green light, and why not? It's a guy who has been playing on the U.S. Volleyball Juniors team. They say he has a chance to be one of the greatest U.S. volleyball players ever. And I believe volleyball returns back to the Summer Olympics in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro. And if Shaw continues to play the way he's playing and have a great collegiate career, I wouldn't be surprised if he was a member of that USA volleyball team in 2016.
Yeah, absolutely. He'd just be graduating from Stanford. If he can get out in 4 years, be perfect timing.
Bellarmine to serve to start game 2. They lost game 1 by a score of 25-23. And they start this game by trailing to St. Francis as well.
Otis has had he's had a really good match from the left side. He's done what's asked of him.
1-0 the score. St. Francis now. Little underhand tap for Shaw, who has his shot met in the air and blocked by number 13 of Bellarmine, that being Alex Keene. Or excuse me, the announcer's giving Aiden Crockett the credit there for the block. 1-1 the score.
Crockett considered the best server on this Bellarmine team, and a team filled with great servers.
Crockett, who is a West Catholic Athletic League first teamer.
There's a little bit of a palm action there by Korb, taking it off speed. He's been very effective.
Yeah, Korb has really shown a little bit of everything. Some finesse, some great blocks, has also had some hard kills. He has been the most valuable player for Bellarmine so far in this early match. 2-1, Bellarmine with the lead, and they give it right back as Shaw goes up for the kill and gets it here on the left side. Score tied at 2. Otis to serve for St. Francis. And a nice hard hit ball there by number 4, that being Josh Nolan. Nolan gives his team back the lead 3-2, as it was the libero, Zach Matson, who couldn't handle it, almost running into his bench out of bounds. And so now Jason Bazul, the libero for Bellarmine to serve. Nice dig out there by Crockett. The set for Korb. And good dig out there by Matson. Back over the net. And it's wide. Bellarmine retains the serve. On a ball hit wide there by St. Francis. 4-2. And Jason Bazul with the ball out of San Jose, California. Last year was honorable mention in the league.
Another kill from Shaw off the right side. Shaw with a taped up left hand, a bunch of fingers taped.
And he has both knees covered up with knee guards. 4-3, nice block there by St. Francis, but even better awareness by Nolan to stick with it for Bellarmine. And a nice little dinker tapped in by Korb. Korb picking up the point, and he shows his excitement for that point on the floor. Hooting and hollering with his teammates. 5-3 now the score in favor of Bellarmine, and it'll be Nolan with his bright yellow shoes to serve, and a service error committed by Nolan, hitting that one deep. 4 serving 5 now the score.
Third service error of the match for Bellarmine. I believe the second for Nolan.
Serving it for St. Francis was Shaw, and he will pick up the service ace as Bazul couldn't handle the shot there by Shaw. And now we're tied at 5. Today's game is being broadcast live on the internet on CIF-Central Coast.tv, part of the Play On Sports Network, a network that continues to expand its coverage.
That was dangerous.
A dangerous miss there by St. Francis.
And our referee, number 1's putting his contact back in.
Those
And all of a
contacts.
sudden we're having some lights put in the spotlight.
Some lights turned on that haven't been there at all throughout the matches.
Who's leaning against the wall where they shouldn't?
And
That's too much of a glare for Bellarmine, so I believe we're going to have a stoppage of play here while this gets addressed.
I'm sure those are the lights they use to announce their starting players here at Independence High for basketball. It would seem like those are the kind of lights they dim the lights and then use those fluorescent spotlights to kind of highlight the players coming out for the player introduction. No one knows how these lights have turned on. Some jokes being made now by Bellarmine. And there we go. The lights have been turned off.
It seems so dark now. You have to squint to see what's going on.
And we're back in action, 6-5.
I'm glad that wasn't like at a football game where it takes 20 minutes to get the lights back on.
Right. A lot of people reminiscent of the Niners game in which they had that outage this year against the Steelers.
And the lights ice the bells.
And it does, as Bellarmine coming back from the break, not ready for it. A service error there by Nolan. 6-6 now is the score. The Lancers serve by Costello.
Stewart with the illegal set. Took his eye off the ball.
7-6 now, St. Francis with the lead. Costello still with the serve. Aiden Crockett. Nice two-handed, underhanded bump. Setting it up for his teammates, and now a block there on a kill attempt from Elenikiotis. It was Soups that went up high for that block. Soupes, I should say, I'm sorry. 7-7 now. We're all tied up here in game 2. And Soupes will serve. Bazul, the libero, will take a break. And Soupes gets the service ace.
You don't see that type of serve too often at the high school level. It is so effective. It is so difficult to read. Great accuracy by Soupes.
The Bellarmine fans chanting, Soupes, Soupes, as he gets the point there. 8-7 to score. And St. Francis gets the ball right back on a kill of their own. James Shaw.
Shaw with the kill out of the back row.
Finding no man's land.
Yeah, we've seen in the D2 match, we saw such ineffective hitting from behind the 10-foot line. Really none went down for kills from either squad, but Shaw has racked up a few tonight.
8-8 now the score, and it's the freshman to serve, that being Young Aylesworth. Avery is his first name, and a point there for Bellarmine.
Bellarmine's, although the score is just a 1-point advantage for Bellarmine, Bellarmine really seems to be playing a lot more fluid, a lot more polished in the second set.
Josh Stewart will serve now, and yes, I agree, Kirsten. Bellarmine seems in control, even though it's been back and forth.
Yeah, they're a little more dialed in, running their offense well. Serves like that don't hurt.
And blocks like that don't hurt neither. That's number 13, Alex Keene, getting up for the block and giving his team a 10-8 lead, a 2-point advantage.
Nolan the opposite in on that as well.
And so it'll be Josh Stewart to retain serve for the Bells. Holds that ball out with his right hand, then puts it up way high, gets an extension, jumps off the ball, or the serve, I should say, deflects off the net. And nice dig out there by Bazul, the libero for Bellarmine. Little dink of a tap there by Bellarmine, but St. Francis was ready. Another great dig out defensively for the Bells. A nice setup there for Korb.
Double contact called as Nolan perhaps a little too tricky for a non-setter.
And Coach Peterson arguing against the double tap. He didn't see a double. I didn't see a double.
You have to make contact simultaneously with both hands.
9-10 now the score. As St. Francis gets the serve back, it's Shaw who goes out of bounds.
No, it was in.
No, it was in.
It's unbelievable that it was in. You think, how could he have such an angle? But our lines person signaled in.
Shaw with a tremendous spike there. Stays in bounds and now ties this one up at 10-all. The serve from St. Francis. Nice dig out there by Crockett. Block attempt by St. Francis. No good as Bellarmine was ready. And then Bellarmine ends up getting the point Nolan up front with his bright yellow shoes gets the point and gives his team an 11-10 lead.
Ellen Ikiotis would like that hit attempt, that swing back, I'm sure.
Aiden Crockett to serve. He puts some good spin on it. Shaw with a soft touch over the net, and that allows Bellarmine to get a ferocious hit in which Shaw went for the block, but it hits near us here at the scorer's table. Out of bounds, 12-10.
The media table, we've got all the reporters already writing their stories, heads buried in the laptop. That woke everybody up.
And so Crockett will retain serve anytime a ball comes near us. Kind of get scared for a little bit. There we go, playing it off the roof here, the ceiling. And Shaw showing no signs of fatigue yet. If it was up to him, he would handle every touch for this game as he picks up the point and gives a serve back to his Lancers, who trail by 1, 11-12 here in this game 2. They already took game 1. They're looking for a second win, and Bazul comes up with the point. You don't see the liberos get too much points, but Bazul with a nice hit there. And now Bazul will be for serving the ball for Bellarmine. 13-11 is the score. Shaw with the ferocious hit, but it was dug out quite nicely there by Bellarmine. And once again, St. Francis in offensive attack mode. And Shaw having his shot net up front by Supis. Shaw going for the laser, and he gets it right in front of Aiden Crockett. 12-13 the score.
Supis had timed that 1-and-1 perfectly, but the problem with Shaw, he keeps coming at you.
Shaw's effort and determination is unmatched, and that's what head coach Mike Rubin was saying about his stellar Stanford-bound senior before the game when I was talking to him. He said that most stars, have that mindset where they don't feel they need to get any better, but not Shaw. He loves coming into practice and seeing what he can do to improve his game. A very good rally we've seen back and forth by both teams. We've also seen some dialed-up set plays. That ball is still in bounds, and finally the rally comes to an end as a point goes to St. Francis. A couple balls that came close to hitting the ceiling. A great rally. That was the first time, Kirsten, that we've actually seen some movement up there without hitting the ball, some drawn-up plays. Before that, it's previously been just the guys hitting it back and forth.
I'm just in awe of Aiden Crockett coming from behind the 10-foot line on that play to land in front of hit the ball before landing in front of the net.
And another hard hit ball from Shaw that cannot be handled by Bellarmine. That being number 23, Josh Stewart, couldn't hit it. And now Scott Peterson,
right here.
Some words here for the ref.
So Bellarmine's Josh Nolan calling for a towel.
Scott Peterson, so intense, and why not? This is a guy who has lived, breathed, and died Bellarmine's volleyball. I mean, this is a guy who was an alum back in his heyday.
Yeah, graduated in 1999, an outside hitter, part of 2 CCS championship teams.
And he coaches club volleyball as well, so he is very active in the sport.
Big V. Yeah.
14-14 is the score. Bellarmine now with the serve. It'll be Nolan. Josh Nolan. And that ball, they felt hit the ground, and it did hit the ground. A service ace, and Peterson giving our producer, Stephen Davies, a good catch. Way to be ready.
4th ace by Bellarmine.
I just want to say a phenomenal job we've seen so far on the camera work as I'm watching it right now by James Davies, our cameraman. Props to James.
It's a rare second serve coming here from Nolan.
15 serving 14. Bellarmine out front at the moment. Shaw, a rare set for another player. And Bellarmine comes up large with the big block. That'll be number 23, Josh Stewart on the block. He is pumped. The rest of his Bells teammates are pumped, and so are their fans. as the Bells lead 16-14 here in Game 2.
You can watch highlights or a replay of today's match in our on-demand section and also buy a DVD or Blu-ray of the match right here, right now on CIF-Central Click on Buy DVD and you can order right this very second. Have a match that lasts a lifetime. Brought to you by CIF-Central
Josh Stewart, who had the kill there from San Jose, California, a local boy, 6'3". I gotta love Josh Stewart because him and I are both Cancers, both born in the month of July. As his birthday, the 16th, mine's the 6th. His favorite movie is Encino Man. And his favorite non-volleyball activity is basketball.
I was just talking about that movie over the weekend.
Were you?
Yeah.
It's a great movie, right?
Talking to some people who hadn't seen it, and I said they should check it out. That's so funny. Not exactly came out last year, some time ago.
Pauly Shore at his finest. And a service ace for Bellarmine, who is certainly feeling the momentum right now, Kirsten, as they up their lead to 3, 17-14, looking to tie this match up if they can take this Game 2. Nolan with the serve. And the ball goes over, and another kill for Bellarmine.
It's Kevin Korb once again. I think his teammate Supes said, "You take it." He said, "I will."
Kevin Korb forces the Lancers into calling another timeout. Korb out of Los Gatos, California, with a very excitable point there. 18-14 now the score as we get another breather, and Kirsten will get another chance at an announcement.
Are you looking for a great place to advertise your business while reaching the greater high school community? Then you want to advertise on CIF-Central We have great rates for your business while giving you the opportunity to get your message out to a very important demographic. For more information, give us a call at area code 619-677-3246. You're watching CIF-Central part of the Play On High School Sports Network.
And some tidbits about Kevin Korb. His favorite movie happens to be Forrest Gump because life is like a box of chocolates. His favorite or most memorable moment was going undefeated during his sophomore year. Bellarmine's JV team that year going 31-0. And what some people would be surprised to know about Kevin Korb is that he is the oldest of 5 children. His favorite non-volleyball activity being ping pong, which is similar to volleyball. There's that net that kind of serves as the midpoint between both teams, both sides. And Nolan finally loses serve for his Bellarmine Bells. Service error up against the net.
So Bellarmine equal in service errors and aces in this match.
A very long serve kept on by the Bells, though. Allowed them to get a 3-point lead. 18-15, Scott Peterson saying that Shaw might have taken too long on that serve attempt, but it doesn't matter because his Bells get the point anyway on a great kill by Kevin Korb. But now he's whistling the ref, too, over to come talk to him and saying, hey, there's got to be a time limit on how long Shaw can take to serve that ball. Kirsten, you have a look on your face like, has there ever been a call for that?
I'm sure there has been calls for that, but I don't think it was 5 seconds.
Maybe Scott Peterson had no beef there, right? Or no need for beef.
Shaw has to wait for the whistle. I'm sure Shaw is experienced enough to know how many seconds it takes them to serve.
16 serving 19 now, and Bazul with a fantastic defensive play from his knees. And the ball coming near me. Will they save it in time? They do. Almost had a fear for my life there. And now
Great
good rally in which
St.
the point goes to St. Francis.
Finally a little sophistication, and in the midst of a long rally, we see the first hitter go up. Instead, it's the second hitter. Well done by the Lancers.
I'll say well done there by Josh Stewart for putting on the brakes instead of not running into me while chasing down that ball. Another point to St. Francis, and so what was a 3-point lead is quickly down to 1 for Bellarmine. It's 18 serving 19. St. Francis with the serve.
Setter Josh Stewart taking responsibility for that broken play.
And now a set. Cross court that deflects off the hands of Josh Stewart. Point will go to St. Francis, and this one's all tied up. That was number 14, George Elenikiotis with the point there. Bazul digs that one out, and now the set for Aiden Crockett, who gets the point. 20, serving 19. Bell's back out in front. Bazul now clapping hands with his teammates as he comes off for a breather.
Great cut shot by Crockett, getting the Bells back. The serve.
Coach Peterson telling his teams to watch the pick. Good attempt at a block there, but the ball sticks around in the air. And a point goes to the Lancers.
Seems like every point by Bellarmine is so hard fought to win, but then St. Francis takes the lead back so easily.
St. Francis, who has beaten Bellarmine 3 straight times this year already, looking for a 4th straight win against the Bells and their 2nd ever CCS title. A nice block attempt there by Elliott Lowe, but the ball still hanging around for Bellarmine, and a set cross court from Stewart goes
That is the
wide.
2nd error we've seen in the last few plays from our setter, and this time it's going to be the Bells to talk it over.
And Stewart beside himself, not happy as his set didn't go the way he planned it. And now it's 21-20 in favor of the St. Francis Lancers, the number 1 seed in this tournament. As I mentioned, have won 3 straight times against Bellarmine, and they are looking to capture game 2, which would put them out front 2-0.
Would you like to have your game broadcast live on the internet and be able to watch it again and again on demand, all while making money for your sports program? How about giving students the opportunity to create their own broadcasts for their school's athletic events? If so, contact us at info@kbcsports.com. We offer season packages for schools, a full curriculum for your students, and an opportunity to raise up to $10,000 for sports programs. Again, that's info@kbcsports.com, or give us a call, area code 619-677-3246.
All right, thank you, Kirsten. St. Francis's fan base getting very loud, stomping their feet up against the bleachers, hoping that their team could take a 2-game advantage here in this match. They would love to see a sweep of their arch rivals in the West Catholic Athletic League. Set for Shaw, dug out by Bazul, and now the set over for Bellarmine's Nolan. And good defense and readiness there by St. Francis. And it's the soft tap that gets the point for the Lancers. Number 14, Elenikiotis in good position.
You can understand why Bellarmine's back row would be on their heels. They've been having to deal with such tremendous power from Shaw, and it's a good strategy by St. Francis to do a bit of tipping.
22 serving 20 now, as Avery Aylesworth gets the serve.
That always gives a setter so much confidence to be able to dump like that. We've seen a couple of setting mistakes from Stewart. Now he's back to serve. Hopefully that fired him up a bit.
His team down 1, 21 serving 22. Stewart taking some time to think about this one. And Stewart with a laser of a serve off of the hands of Costello. Having to race back for it was Shaw. He makes contact, but doesn't make it playable enough for his teammates to respond.
That was a mental error by the rest of the Lancers. Need to communicate who's got that next touch.
And look at the Lancers formation right now. Defensively, they're in like a little half moon setup as they await the serve from Bellarmine's Stewart. 22-22 the score. A little soft underhand tap there by Shaw. Sets it up for Nolan, who rockets one off of the libero, Matson. And the point goes to the Bells, and the lead goes to the Bells. 23 serving 22. Scott Peterson loving the effort he's seeing from his team right now. Josh Stewart keeping serve. All he needs is 2 more points for his team to tie this match up at 1 apiece. The serve Hard hit, but out of bounds.
That may be the worst service error as far as timing goes that we have seen tonight. The possible difference between set point and letting St. Francis back in the door.
St. Francis now in the driver's seat, even though the game is tied 23, they hold serve. Elliott Lowe served it up. And the point, or should I say shot there, wide from Crockett. He does not get the point. The line judge there, quick to raise her flag. And so now it's 24-23. St. Francis out front. They will serve the ball when we get back from this timeout, which was called by Bellarmine's head coach, Scott Peterson.
Kind of an example of what I was saying earlier. Every point is so dear and takes so much effort for Bellarmine, but then when they give it up, it happens so quickly, so easily. Seemed like they were in the driver's seat, had the momentum, and blink of an eye, it's their opponent who has set point.
So far, these have been two very exhilarating games. No one has really ran out and stormed out in front. I think the largest lead we've seen at all has been a 6-point lead, and I believe that was on the behalf of St. Francis. 7-point lead now, as Kirsten keeping track of that for me.
That was back when Bellarmine called its first timeout, trailing 13-9 back in set one. The Bells certainly playing better here in game two, but a couple of costly errors late in this game, and just like that, St. Francis has an opportunity to end it right here.
St. Francis looking for game point. It would put them up 2-0 here in this Division I championship match for the Central Coast section. It is Lowe who gets it over the net. Stewart setting it up for Nolan. Deflects off the hands of Shaw. Shaw goes for the kill, but right there was number 22, that being Korb. And they call the double contact there by Shaw. Ball being hit back and forth, back and forth. Finally, it's double contact on Shaw. We are now tied at 24, and now Bellarmine is in the driver's seat to tie this match up at 1 game apiece. It'll be Aiden Crockett, the Ohio State-bound senior, to serve the ball. Here is the serve from Crockett. St. Francis ready. Shaw's kill attempt met in the air by the blocking of Bellarmine. Bellarmine with the set, and it's met in the air by number 11. That being, or make it the 14, that's Ellie Nikiotis.
Bellarmine's back row needed to communicate to their front row that they needed to go up for the joust there. They had no idea, and it left a clear path for another set point.
And I'm sorry, at 25-24, you have to win by 2. So that is why this game is not over yet. St. Francis, shot goes wide, and now we're all tied at 25.
That all started with the great hit, the great swing by Josh Nolan. Tight set, went cross court.
And it'll be Bazul to serve for Bellarmine. The set for Costello. And Costello's shot is blocked, but out of bounds. So now the Lancers get a point, 26-25, and if they get another point here, then this game is theirs.
Third set point for the Lancers.
And it'll be their libero serving it up, that being Matson. And a kill by Supis keeps this game going. 26 all.
Determination, the look on Supez's face. Great pass to set up, run in the middle. Supez was not to be denied.
Remember, folks, you can buy a DVD or Blu-ray of today's game and watch a replay on CIF-Central-Coast.tv. I'm sure this is going to be a classic that will go down as the point goes to Lancers, 27-26. Some extra volleyball being played here in this game, too.
Shaw with the kill, and now a chance to end it. He certainly has the firepower on his serve to do so.
Shaw's serve hits the net.
Hits the antenna,
hits the antenna. And so the point goes to Bellarmine, 27 all.
He went for it all on that one. Little too close to the antenna.
Korb now for the serve. And Korb gets it over the net successfully. The set for Shaw, and it's blocked by Supis! 28-27. That gets the Bellarmine fans in a frenzy, even though they have yet to capture the game, but they are at point status here.
They've faced down 4 set points, finally have earned one for themselves.
28-27. Korb on the serve. Over to net. Hit by Matson. The set for Costello. Now into the hands of Korb, who finds an empty space on the floor. And Kevin Korb has tied this matchup at 1 game apiece here at Independence High School. And we will be seeing a lot more volleyball to come. It will not be a sweep for the St. Francis Lancers. And some extra yelling at the end by number 18, Jimmy Frazier of St. Francis, who has a stress fracture in his back, will not be playing at all tonight. Trying to get into the heads of Bellarmine. I don't know why. His team just lost that game. And what an exciting match we've seen here for the Division I championship. And we are far from over. Kirsten.
Join us on Thursday for more exciting boys volleyball action in Northern California. This time we bring you the Sac Joaquin Section Boys Volleyball Championships. The matches will get underway on Thursday starting at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time in the Sac Joaquin section. Go to CIF-Sacjoaquin.tv to see all the great matches as we determine this year's section champions. KBCSports.com and the Play on Sports Network showcase great high school matches, games, meets, events every single week. And now you can access our content using multiple platforms. Follow us on Facebook. Get the latest KBC and Play on Sports news on Twitter, or catch our highlights in high definition on YouTube. All of our content can now link to your favorite social media site. Share all the high school action you see every week, brought to you by your home for high school sports, KBCSports.com and Play on Sports.
All right, thank you, Kirsten. The score so far throughout this match looks like this: 25-23, the score in game 1. St. Francis taking that, and then 29-27. Some extras being played in game 2, and ultimately the game goes to Bellarmine to tie this one up at 1 apiece. St. Francis and Bellarmine, both from the West Catholic Athletic League, very familiar with each other. Bellarmine established in 1851. It is the oldest secondary school in the state of California, an all-male private secondary school sponsored by the Society of Jesus. And what I found interesting was their history, how they were originally what was known as Santa Clara College, and then it kind of formed the elementary, secondary, and college together. And then Santa Clara bought out the land, and so that land that was originally Santa Clara, it became Santa Clara. Bellarmine had to move, and Santa Clara, when they did that, Bellarmine changed their colors. They were the red and white that you see of the Santa Clara Broncos. They changed to the blue and white after the campus was purchased for $77,500 back in 1925. And so they changed their name to Bellarmine and joined up with the Holy Cross High School, which was all girls at the time. That's how they combined in 1972. Actually, I'm sorry, I was starting to mix St. Francis and Bellarmine up. St. Francis used to be all by themselves, and then in 1972 they combined with Holy Cross High School. Bellarmine still all themselves an all-male school. But Bellarmine with a lot of success in the Central Coast section athletically. So has St. Francis, but they say that Bellarmine has the most championships out of any school in boys sports in the section.
Well,
they're familiar to what I'm known. I'm more accustomed to De La Salle, living in the East Bay.
Well, I think the thing that's really interesting when it comes to boys volleyball, to be sitting here in a match, and I can count on one finger how many times Bellarmine has been the underdog, and that is in this match right here. They are always the clear-cut favorite. They are always the ones to be. And you look at their roster for next year, and you have to think in some ways they're better suited for next year, for the future, than St. Francis, because St. Francis has admittedly been a one-man race, a one-horse race with James Shaw, and why not take advantage of his skills. And I'm sure the underclassmen playing around him have improved so much. But Bellarmine, a lot of juniors are making a statement here today.
Bellarmine, whose program has consistently been in the mix. 5 straight championships. Like I said, very De La Salle-esque, if you will. De La Salle with 20 straight section
I'm sure
championships.
Bellarmine would not like that comparison.
Probably not, huh?
Yeah.
But Bellarmine actually has a better feat than De La Salle. I thought the De La Salle's 20 straight football championships in their section was pretty phenomenal until I read about Bellarmine swimming, who captured their 28th consecutive section championship last Saturday. A service ace from Bellarmine. They're up 2-0 to start quickly here, game 3. They are now on the right side of the net, St. Francis on the left side. It is Josh Stewart to serve for Bellarmine. Stewart with the service error there, giving the ball away to St. Francis.
Again, 6 aces to 6 service errors. The Bellarmine canceling itself out.
28 straight section championships, though, for Bellarmine's swimming team. Can't get over that. And St. Francis right now with the point ties this one up. Soft finesse point there, touch there by number 11, that being Ellingbo. Two.
Great pinball by the Lancers. Great chicken wing.
And so now a nice reverse volley there by James Shaw. And this ball still being in the air. Nice dig out there by Bazul. What a rally we're seeing right now between both squads. The set for Shaw. The kill attempt. No good as great defense being played. This time it's the libero coming up huge. Shaw blocked, but the ball still in the air. This is the longest rally I've seen for this match, and it finally goes to Bellarmine.
I know Matson is listed besides a libero as a setter, but that's twice he's been called on a double in this match, and trying to make the most difficult sets, off balance, weird angle, back sets.
He just needs to keep it simple, right?
Yeah.
3-2 to score. Aiden Crockett with the serve for Bellarmine. James Shaw in perfect position to get that kill there. Played on the right outside. Got a great set, went cross court with it. And so now it'll be Matson, the libero, to serve with his team tied at 3-3 here in game 3. Aiden Crockett with the two-hand touch for his teammates who get it over to the side of St. Francis. St. Francis hitting it towards the backcourt where no one was. The only problem was that ball was shot a little too deep. Serve goes back to Bellarmine, 4-3. Bellarmine now with the lead. It'll be their libero, Jason Bazul with the serve. A nice one-handed tap over the net. Block attempt for Bellarmine on Shaw's shot was unsuccessful. Shaw gets the point and ties this one up at 4-4.
Supez taking the blame. It says to his coach, that was me. Needed a seal.
Shaw now getting ready to serve, taking a couple deep breaths before serving the ball up. Korb digs it out and in the process sends it over the net. Now the set for Nolan, who rifles one at the face of Elenikiotis, but he keeps it alive. And they're going to say ball goes out of bounds. Point to Bellarmine, 5-4.
We had a lot of broken points, broken plays in that first match, Michael. We're seeing some great bump, set, hit volleyball. Traditional volleyball played here in D1.
Bazul going full extension to try to keep that ball from hitting the floor, and in the process he hits the ball to no man's land where his teammates had a hard time trying to get it over the net. They cannot contact it successfully, and so the serve goes to St. Francis. 5-5 the score. Supis with the kill, and it is inbounds. Point to Bellarmine, 6-5. Mike Rubin standing on the floor, whereas Scott Peterson has taken a seat
well,
on the bench.
My understanding of CCS volleyball, you're supposed to remain seated at all times. Unless you get up to ask a question about substitution and such, but that rule must have been relaxed in recent years.
It must have been, as in the first game we broadcasted earlier today, Kirsten, there was that difference in coaching methods as McDonald was up the whole time for Mount Madonna. Tran was in her seat the whole time for Sacred Heart Cathedral. 7-5 the score as a point for Bellarmine, and they get another point, this time off the hands of Aiden Crockett, who sends one cross court in a furious manner. He's nodding his head yes, as if that was definitely me, guys. And look at Supis in that set position with his hands out in front of his face. Serve and blocked by Supis, who raises his hands up in the air immediately. 9-5 the score. Timeout taken by the Lancers. And Bellarmine finding that bit of emotion and momentum. They want to put an end to that 3-game win streak from their rival St. Francis, and in the process, earn their 6th straight CCS title.
Do you need a highlight video for your athlete? Are they working to earn that 4-year scholarship? Contact kbcsports.com. We can help. We can provide recruiting video for any athlete in any sport. But not only that, we can give your athlete their own recruiting page right on our website. No more mailing DVDs to colleges. Instead, email coaches the link to the personal page. For more information, including pricing, contact us at recruits@kbcsports.com or give us a call at area code 619-677-3246.
Thank you, Kirsten. Once again, Kirsten Fairchilds alongside Stephen Davies, James Davies, the cameraman, and myself, Michael Smith, giving you the play-by-play here of this exciting, exhilarating match between two West Catholic Athletic League rivals.
I think they're West Coast rivals as well.
They are.
Yes.
Every time I see that WC, I keep getting mixed up with that. But they are West Coast. It could count.
I'm sure they're two of the best teams on the West Coast.
Yeah, I would say so. Both participating in one of the better tournaments that you can compete in for boys volleyball, that being the Dos Pueblos Invitational down south in Santa Barbara. And James Shaw, one of the best players, if not the best player in the West Coast, getting a point, 7-9.
Bellarmine into the net on that play.
But yeah, both teams, like I said, participating in the Dos Pueblos Invitational, which really takes the top talent from all over California and some schools even from outside the state to participate.
A great joust there, our first of the night.
And great rally now from both teams. Eleniki Otis getting one in.
Perfect timing, great decision, great execution.
In front of a sprawling Nolan, who tried to get it but couldn't get there. It'll be Avery Aylesworth to serve, the freshman of brother Evan Aylesworth, the junior. And once again, towel on the floor to wipe up.
They might have to get another towel. That towel's seen a lot of action in this match.
It has.
The lavender towel from Independence High School.
Whereas in the D2 game, they just figured to wipe it up with their hands.
Well, I think there was more of a washcloth available than the towel.
9-8 the score in favor of the Bellarmine Bells. St. Francis, however, on the serve. And it's Supis rifling one off the youngster.
Supis flying through the air.
The only thing missing is his cape.
He should have some capes on his socks.
He should, right?
Like a certain Heisman Trophy winner.
What a phenomenal year that certain Heisman Trophy winner had. We'll see if it produces in the nation's capital. 10 serving 8. Bellarmine with the serve. Great defense there. Setting up offense.
By the chin of his cherry chin or the fingernails. Great hang time.
That being number 13, Matt Keene. or Alex Keene, I'm sorry, with the point. 11 serving 8. The Bell still on top. Super Supis with the serve. As mentioned by Kirsten, I like that nickname.
Shaw just uncorks it.
And he has that look on his face, that determination look, as his team trails now by 2. And he's telling his guys, just set it up for me. I'll take care of it. 9 serving 11. Right now they're in a line formation. 3 guys almost as similar to the I formation that you would see in football up front. And the set for Shaw. Right in front of Nolan. And Nolan was saying, guys, come on. How do I handle that? There's no way to handle that.
I think Bellarmine thought the shot was wide as well, but their appeals are in vain.
They thought wrong, according to the refs. 10-11 now. As St. Francis on the serve. Digging it out was Bazul for Bellarmine. And Crockett shot blocked wide and out of bounds by Shaw. Point and serve goes back to the Bells. 12 serving 10 is your score. It'll be Stewart to serve for his Bells. St. Francis.
Oh, that hurts.
Faithful trying to get into the head of Stewart.
That hurts.
And he dinks one off the head of his teammate.
Dinks. Drills.
Dinks was putting it softly. Yeah, no, that was a laser of a hit that missed going over the net. Hit his teammate.
That's smart.
In the back of the head.
It's going to leave a mark.
Yeah. 11-12 the score now. And almost a near point there from Keene. But great defense by St. Francis. And it's who else? James Shaw with another point for the Lancers to tie this one up at 12 apiece.
This time going off speed, keeping that back row honest, seeing if they were on their heels. They were.
Super Supis taking a breather. The serve from Elenikiotis. Nolan gets a screamer of a shot to go over the net, but St. Francis was ready for it. That one hits off the speaker.
And cross the net. If it stayed on their net, it would have been playable, but it cannot cross the net.
As earlier, Kirsten was saying if it hits the roof, it's in play, but that time it hit the speakers, which are right in the middle.
Little takedown there.
So after St. Francis took the lead, 13-12, their serve goes Alry for them to create a 13-13 tie. Bellarmine now with the point and the serve. It's Crockett on the serve, and he commits a service error.
That toss was so far out in front of him. That is the 9th service error for Bellarmine. Can always let it drop and have a second toss.
Now, can you set it up too far for yourself on a serve, or is there...
That was a perfect example of that, yeah.
Could they have called just a technical service error on that besides the hitting the net?
We'll see, but this is where it always gets catching. That's only the 5th service error for St. Francis, so consecutive service errors. He could have let the ball drop and had a chance to serve it again.
14-14. I asked because I'm still relatively new to the sport as far as covering it on a consistent basis. Nice rally being put. The setup for Shaw, and he finds the open space and gets the point. 15-14. Shaw is definitely the man. This guy, something else, and he will now serve the ball.
Best player Mike Rubin has ever coached. Mike Rubin in his 9th year as the head coach of St. Francis boys volleyball. He coached Harbor girls volleyball in Santa Cruz for a number of years as well.
And right now, a point goes to Bellarmine. Now, I thought that ball was hit out of bounds by Bellarmine, but there must have been some kind of deflection.
It was off the block, yes.
Off the block of St. Francis. So 15 all. Nolan to serve. Dug out nicely by the libero, that being Matson. And the deflection off the hands of Supis goes out of bounds near the scorer's table, the media table here. 16-15 now. St. Francis in control to serve. and in control of the game right now as they lead by 1.
Mike Rubin, a 2003 graduate of UC Santa Cruz, an outside hitter with a tremendous vertical lead. UC Santa Cruz has a club team in men's volleyball. Stayed in the area to coach before heading on over to the Mountain View.
Rubin having a chat with Shaw prior to that serve.
Stewart again successful with the dump for Bellarmine.
And the point goes to Bellarmine. Aiden Crockett there in nice position. 16-16. It'll be Korb on the serve. And it's Shaw who gets set up. And then Crockett hits it underneath the net. And so the point will go to St. Francis. And Matt Larson, the sophomore, with the grimace on his face. I don't know if he's injured for St. Francis, but he takes a seat on the bench. Not too happy. His team is out front, however, 17-16, so he should be happy about that. Crockett's shot met in midair by the front line of St. Francis, but the ball goes out of bounds, and so we are tied once again at 17.
Michael, we have to remember for the seniors, this is the final high school boys volleyball match of their careers, and to face your bitter rivals for it in a very tight match, all tied up. What could be better than that?
There's absolutely nothing better than that. As the point goes to Bellarmine, they retain the serve. It's Supis, 18-17. Sometimes I wish my football career in high school would have ended with our win against our rivals, but we were awarded an NCS playoff berth in which we got humiliated by Foothill in the first round. Serve, or the hit there, goes wide on behalf of Bellarmine. Ties the game up now at 18 apiece. I was a former player of Liberty High School in Brentwood, California.
Another nail biter.
And we've seen nail biters throughout this match. First game was a nail biter. Second game went into extras. This one has the look of going into extras as well.
Great topspin by Nolan to bring that shot in. It could have looked like it could have gone long, but he had the correct wrist action to give his team a 1-point lead.
Nolan getting the kill, then doing a brief Tebow, Tim Tebow action, Tebowing there on the floor with his teammates, 19-18. And what happened there for Josh Stewart on that serve? He lost it in the lights.
It's like tennis. If you don't like, except you only get 2 in volleyball. If you don't like the toss, don't go after it. Instead, give yourself another opportunity.
I know what you mean. I do that when I'm throwing gummy bears up in the air trying to get them in my mouth. I say, hey, wait, let me get one more try. So there we go. Ball set up for Bellarmine, and it's quickly back into the side of St. Francis. And they're going to say running into the net on St. Francis. That was number 3, Ryan Reschke.
The call actually should have been underneath the net. I think Lowe did a good job not going into the net, but he couldn't stop his own momentum.
I'm sorry, that was Elliot Lowe who ran into the net for St. Francis. And so Bellarmine has the serve and the lead, 20-18. Stewart getting the ball over. It's Shaw who handles it but hits it up against the ceiling of this gymnasium here at Independence High School. And now the set for Crockett, who gets it over the net, but right of the left of the antenna.
What a spear by Stewart. The one-arm spear on Shaw hitting full force. Ouch. That can take a shoulder out of joint.
Well, like I said, that's been the one flaw I've seen from Shaw, is his inability to handle serves, especially ones that are hit quite hard.
Bellarmine broken play allows St. Francis to tie it up.
St. Francis ties it up at 20 apiece, and that forces Scott Peterson, the head coach of the Bells, to call a timeout. And Kirsten.
Both teams with 1 timeout remaining in this set. Stay tuned at the conclusion of this match for the CIF-Central Coast.tv post-game show, where our player of the game will be selected, as well as action being wrapped up from this ball game. That's all coming up following this match on CIF-Central Coast.tv.
All right, thank you, Kirsten. It all goes back to Shaw, though. 6'7", 215-pound athlete who spent a lot of hours in his young life on a volleyball court. His dad, Don Shaw, coached Stanford's male and female volleyball teams. He led the Cardinal to 4 NCAA Division I women's titles in 16 seasons, and also coached the men's team from 2002 to 2006. And so it's only fitting that he will be playing volleyball at the university, or Stanford University.
Not the way Bellarmine wanted to come out of the timeout, a hitting error.
That gives St. Francis the lead. 21-20. And the serve. Elanikiotis to serve, and now a whistle and timeout, or break on the floor. Mike Rubin glad that his team got the point, and there we go. There's the excitement from the fans as they clap it up. And a nice designated drawn-out play, some pre-hit movement there by Bellarmine, but it's all for naught as the ball gets hit up against the net.
Yeah, consecutive hitting errors by Bellarmine. Coach still has a timeout in his pocket.
22-20 is Elanikiotis once again on the serve for St. Francis. Crockett hits it over the net, and now the set from Madsen, in which his teammate cannot handle it. Jeff Costello whiffing at the kill attempt there.
And having a big laugh about it.
And I don't know if that's something you want to laugh about.
Reenacting it, sometimes you just got to laugh it off.
Sure.
He thought, well, maybe nobody was looking at him.
A very intense match for the title we have seen here tonight. And the reversed volley there by Shaw. And it's Nolan, whose shot gets blocked.
And Costello.
By Costello, who makes
up
for the
to
win.
hero.
Yeah. Rubin asking how much timeouts he had left, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
One?
Going from goat to hero in a matter of seconds.
Not that he was really a goat on the previous one, but
23-21 now the score. Nolan's shot, rifled hard at Elliott Lowe. Point goes to the Bells.
Well, and also Costello involved in all these plays. Costello called with being into the net as well. Sometimes you don't want the spotlight.
Yeah, right. And so now Bazul to serve for the Bells. 22-23 is a score in favor of the Lancers. Nolan now setting it up for Crockett. Crockett cannot get it over the net. He hits it into the net. And so now that'll put the Lancers in a position to capture game 3.
And Bellarmine has a timeout here, not using it.
24-22 is the score. It will be Shaw, the best in the West, to serve it up for his St. Francis Lancers. Looking to take the game and take the lead in the match, and he cannot do so. As a line drive serve goes right into the net to keep Bellarmine alive here in this game 3. 23-24 is your score. A timeout called now by Mike Rubin and his St. Francis Lancers.
That's surprising that which team calls a timeout there, and it is St. Francis. Lancers, 6 service errors to just 3 aces. And again, we've seen some really untimely service errors late in these sets during this match.
Yeah, and like I said, you can add that maybe to the thing that we haven't seen so well from Shaw. If you had to pick out flaws, there's very little. But the two that really stand out so far in my mind that I've seen tonight, his serves I don't think have been the greatest, and neither has his ability to defend shots that come his way on the serve from the other team.
Well, they are going after him for sure. And it's really interesting because usually when you see players that excel so dramatically at the high school level, especially being from California, they typically play a lot of beach volleyball. And when you're playing two-man beach volleyball, you actually have very good serve-receive skills. You have to receive, bump, set. You have to do it all. You have to be so well-rounded, and that's why I think on both the boys and girls sides we've seen so many great high school volleyball players out of the state of California.
24 serving 23, or I should say 23 serving 24, and the point off the service error from Bellarmine. They cannot get it over the net. It hits the net, and that gives St. Francis the win in game 3. 25-23 is your score. They will switch sides here on the floor, and St. Francis is now in position to capture the match if they can win game 4. They are now up 2-1 as the scoreboard looks like this: 25-23, 27-29, 25-23 for the St. Francis Lancers after 3 games.
Those service errors can be so contagious, but what a horrible time for one from Bellarmine.
Yeah, and that's about as good as it can get. So I'll turn it over to Kirsten really quick for an announcement. You're listening to Boys Volleyball Championship.
If you'd like to watch highlights or replay of today's championship matches in our on-demand section, you can buy a DVD or Blu-ray right on CIF-Central and right now. Click on Buy DVD and you can order a game that lasts a lifetime. Brought to you by CIF-Central Sacred Heart Cathedral Fighting Irish representing the West Catholic Athletic League by capturing its first ever school title in the history of boys volleyball by defeating the top-seeded Mount Madonna Hawks of Watsonville in 3 games. A big surprise, a big upset, a big shock. Once again, we've got number 1 taking on number 3, but St. Francis right now, the number 1 seed in the driver's seat, and Mount Madonna never was in that D2 championship match.
And you have to think that the commissioner of the West Catholic Athletic League is in 7th heaven, as 3 of the 4 representatives for the volleyball championships in the mix. And now, no matter what happens in this game, he will have a champion in both divisions. And it is, as you mentioned earlier, one of the strongest leagues athletically in the Bay Area, if not Northern California, if not the state of California.
Well, and when it comes to high school sports, boys volleyball, I believe, has the least turnout of any sport in terms of a lot of schools have had to perhaps forego volleyball this year, not able to field a JV team, a varsity team, and such. But that's what's so special about the West Catholic Athletic League, is that year after year they've been such powerhouses. It really makes them it makes it easier for them to have perhaps students looking to attend a private school that enjoy playing boys volleyball to go to one of the schools.
Yeah, it's not a sport that a lot of boys would pick first on their list of sports to play growing up. It's just not something that's really too ingrained in a lot of men. It's more for the females, but it's starting to gain.
Well, and I think if you grow up in a beach community or relatively close to a beach community, I mean, it's just fun to have a barbecue, go surfing, and then come out and organize a volleyball match. So I think, again, that's why so many great men's players have come out of the state of California. You know, they're down on the weekends. I've certainly have seen Mike Rubin down in the Santa Cruz County area playing some 2-man volleyball. And as you mentioned, both coaches so active in the club scene here. And, you know, the San Jose, the Bay Area, really a hot spot for boys volleyball as well.
Well, just volleyball in general. Isn't Carrie Walsh also from the San Jose area?
She went to Archbishop Mitty.
We're ready to start game 4. St. Francis ahead 2-1 here in the quest for the 2012 CCS Boys Volleyball Championship for the Division I. And they start off with the lead 1-0 as Aiden Crockett was unable to successfully defend the shot on the service there. A service ace for St. Francis. This time Bazul in position. And also in position on the set from Bazul was Korb, as Korb gets a shot to fall within the right limits of the court on the St. Francis side. And so the game now tied at 1.
I'd really like to see the Bellarmine fans become a little more involved in this match. I mean, this could be it, the final set of their seniors' careers. It's really hard to close out an extra game volleyball match, and the Bells, if they could get a little encouragement from the fans, might be able to send this one into game 5.
Bazul gets the point there. 2 serving 1 now in favor of Bellarmine. And you're right, no, Kirsten, you know, there's a lot more fans here in attendance for this game, but I felt that the first game we broadcasted earlier for the D2 was a lot louder.
We couldn't even hear each other at times.
That was even brought up when I went to go get food over in the food area. Another point for Bellarmine.
7/8 of the match.
It'll now be 3 serving 1. And maybe it's just this side of the floor for both squads, this left side of the floor. And so far, that is where each win has come off of in this match. And Shaw hits one right at the stomach of Korb, in which he falls on his back.
Takedown.
2 serving 3 now, or make that 3 serving 2. Point to the Lancers. Or, I'm sorry, 2 serving 3. Point to the Lancers. As Bellarmine was up 3-1. Eleniki Otis serving it over the net. And now the set for Stewart. Met by the Lancers. Stewart once again now with the setup. This time for Korb. Playing it well was the Lancers. And Josh Shaw ultimately at the end of what is a point for his Lancers. And the game now tied at 3.
You can just see Shaw has the potential to take this match over. He was very dominant in the first set.
Some good sets being put up for the St. Francis Lancers. And in the end, a shot goes wide right and gives Bellarmine the lead 4-3, and now the serve. Coming off the floor is Keene, Alex Keene for Bellarmine. 4 serving 3. St. Francis gets their shot blocked by Kyle, a.k.a. Super Supis, 5-3.
Supis always provides such a spark. He's so intense. He just prowls that front row like a wolf. He does not play all the way around, but he really gives his team a nice spark of energy when he comes back out on the floor.
Free ball, free ball.
And so now that double underhand tap there, or two-handed underhand tap. And the point goes to the Lancers. Getting a little hot here in the gym as I'm sweating for the first time tonight. 4 serving 5, now the score. Ref getting a good chuckle, I think, out of my commentary there. Why not? Basul setting it up. It's Nolan with the kill. And Nolan puts his team out front 6-4.
I think Bellarmine needs for someone other than Supis to really catch fire, to be a consistent threat on the outside. We've seen some streaks from Nolan. Perhaps he can string some together next time he gets into the front row.
And this is where Nolan has struggled as of late.
Number 11. Some coaches will accept 2 service errors per set. We have not played 6 games yet for Bellarmine.
Yeah, game 2, he was pretty good on the serves as he had that streak of about 4 points. But games 3 and 4, he has struggled. It's now 6-6. St. Francis ties it up, and it's Shaw to serve for the Lancers. Shaw gets it over the net. It's Korb setting it up for Stewart, who then sets it up for Crockett. Ball back into the floor of St. Francis, and a block by Supis, but the ball kept alive by St. Francis, needing to get it over the net. He does, but Supis right there jumps up, taps it to the floor. 7-6 now your score. Bellarmine back out in front.
Supis negates the terrific court coverage coverage, scrambling defense of St. Francis to even keep that play alive.
Korb with the serve, almost has himself a service ace. Costello, wide right.
Korb's kind of gone away a little bit in this match. We called his name so often in the first game. The first set, he was so pivotal. Be nice to see him become more involved in this Bellarmine offense.
Hopefully he didn't wear out his energy maybe in the first couple games. You look at his jersey.
I have never seen a volleyball match where we've had so many second serves in a long time, but good decision making by these players. If you don't get the toss you want, don't try to force it.
And so Korb with a good serve there. Shaw going for the kill, but Nolan was there. Unfortunately for Nolan, he was in good position, but the way that he hit the ball, not good as it goes beyond the table here and out of bounds.
As the sports cliche goes, defense wins championship, and in volleyball that often equates to back row passing. Bellarmine struggling.
7 serving 8 now. St. Francis with the lead and the serve. Shaw spikes one right in front of Nolan. Soup is telling him, it's all right.
Hey, man, shake it off. What are you going to do? Well, it's a little hard if Bellarmine doesn't get a hand on it in the front row.
8-8 and good dig by Nolan.
Actually, that's Korb, and that looked a little painful. He's trying to shake that off.
And there's a lot of sweat on the floor, and they need to wipe it up. Point goes to St. Francis, 9-8.
Lavender Towel is getting a lot of play here. A lot of FaceTime in this match.
Too bad James can't hear us. Maybe he'd get a zoom in on that lavender towel.
The Independence High 76ers, red, white, and blue the colors, as you can tell by the bleachers, have lavender and purple towels.
Speaking of the Sixers, they tied their series up last night against the Celtics. What an old school rivalry that is.
Great
That's a rivalry reminiscent of what we're seeing tonight between these two volleyball teams.
Great joust by Supes and company. Win that point. Mike Rubin wants to talk about it.
Bazul calls for the substitution. He takes himself out, and Keene comes in. 9-9 to score. Rubin not quite happy with the call on the floor. And now he should be happy with that as Matt Larson gets the kill. Off the bench. It gives his team a 1-point advantage, 10-9. If St. Francis were to go on to win this game, they would win the match, and they would win their second CCS boys volleyball title. Their first coming back 4 years ago in 2008. Shaw's shot a bit too far and out of bounds. 10-10 now the score, and the serve goes back to the Bells.
I think if St. Francis does not win this championship, this is all their season has led up to. Where for Bellarmine, I think it would be a nice surprise, a great way to end it. If St. Francis doesn't win this championship, I think this season's a tremendous disappointment. Because of having players like that on your team.
And that's just James Shaw being James Shaw. Gets a perfect set, rifles it cross court. It says 12-10, but it should be 11-10, right? There we go. Now the scoreboard operators are changing it. 11-10 the score. The serve from Elliott Lowe.
It's a great play and a great adjustment to keep from going into the net by Crockett.
And Aiden Crockett gets the point, and he'll now serve. And so, just as we've seen in games 1, 2, and 3, back and forth, it's now 11-11. Bellarmine with the serve, Aiden Crockett bouncing the ball a couple times before throwing it up in the air, jumping and hitting it. And it's Korb with the stained and spoiled jersey getting the point. 12-11, Bellarmine leading by 1. They have done pretty well when Crockett is served. And right now, a formation in which they have 3 up front, all close together. Shaw setting it for his middle backer that comes out of nowhere, that being Hawken Ellingbo. But Ellingbo hits it wide right. 13-11, Crockett retains serve for Bellarmine. Bellarmine, who got lucky on his last serve as the ball scathed off the net and went into St. Francis' side just like it did there. Shaw with a nice serve. Oh, what a save by number 4, that being Josh Nolan. And then on another save on the other side of the floor, Korb hits it out of bounds. He goes full extension. We did have a scare as they hit the table. Good thing our laptop didn't fall, huh?
Yeah, I was right there. I got it.
We're a little too tightly constrained in. It was a little difficult to exit the area.
Steven handling it like a pro.
Hip x-rayed after that one.
Catch everybody next time. I got you next.
Stephen Davies just doing an excellent job here tonight.
Producer/security.
Yes. Multitasking at its finest. And a kill there from Alex Keene, I'm sorry. 14-12, Bellarmine out front. And it'll be Jason Bazul.
I did have a soda. I think it might be in Korb's pocket.
And Shaw gets the kill right in front of Nolan. He says, I know, it's my bad, guys. 13-14. Now, can you explain to me, Kirsten, why the libero gets to set a little bit closer up front?
I'm sorry, I missed it.
Why the libero gets to set a little bit closer up front compared to the others that kind of go more back?
That's just decision-making. Sometimes when you have the guy in front, that's there to hide a weak passer. They're kind of screening a weak passer.
And shot goes wide for Bellarmine. We are now tied, 14-14. St. Francis with the serve. It is their libero, Zach Matson. Matson, soft touch over the net. And now it's Stewart setting it for Nolan, whose shot is blocked by Costello. And then Korb gets one off the hands of Shaw and out of bounds. So point goes to Bellarmine, 15-14. Scott Peterson in a nice suit. The navy jacket and pants with the blue, white, and silver tie.
Yes, I complimented him before the match, and he said, I always dress like this. And I said, good for you, Coach.
Yeah, looks professional, looks sharp. And not sharp on the hit there was Korb, just missing to the right on the cross-court attempt at a kill. Game tied at 15, whereas Mike Rubin in the olive green colored khakis and the St. Francis white polo. A little dinker there by Stewart. Still in play for St. Francis, and Costello not keeping his eye on the ball really as he gets the tap, but goes out of bounds near the fans in the stands. A costly mistake and turnover there for St. Francis, who chokes up, gives up the tie, gives up the lead. It was 16-15, and then giving up the momentum right back was Bellarmine on the serves, Kyle Korb. So now it's 16 all, and St. Francis back with the serve. It'll be
service error by Bellarmine.
12 service error. Jeff Costello with the serve for St. Francis, and Supis with some great leaping ability gets the kill.
Catching flight.
17 serving 16. And Supis, who gets the kill, will now serve. Taking a break will be the defensive specialist, Jason Bazul. And coming from the back to get the kill was Nolan, or no, he did not get the kill as his attempt went deep.
This is clutch time. This is now or never for Bellarmine.
17 all is your score. St. Francis to serve. It'll be the freshman, Aylesworth. And Crockett hits one off of Aylesworth, but great job defensively to dig that one out. Over the net and inbounds. Point to St. Francis. Costello with the point. And the lead now for his St. Francis Lancers, 18-17. They are 7 points away from winning the match and taking their second CCS Boys Volleyball Division I title.
Stay tuned for the CIF-Central Coast.tv post-game show where we will select our player of the game as well as wrap up all the action from this one. That's coming up following this match on CIF-Central Coast.tv. And if you would like a terrific keepsake of this match featuring two of the best teams in the state of California, you can watch highlights or a replay in our on-demand section and also purchase a DVD or Blu-ray right on CIF-Central-Coast.tv. Have a match, a sporting event that lasts a lifetime, brought to you by CIF-Central-Coast.tv.
All right, thank you. Coach Rubin said this about Bellarmine. Quote, Bellarmine is a very, very good team, so to think that in order to win this thing, we're going to have to go through them 4 times at the beginning of the season, I would have said that it was really possible. But now that we've got 1 game left, I've certainly changed my mind. Talking about having to beat the Bells for a 4th straight time.
Yeah, that's not easy when 2 of those matches have gone 5.
But his team,
a little hesitant by Keene, did not follow through, but just enough to bring that in. Right now, the bench is saying it's Supez who's just chattering up a storm, as well he should be. It is exactly this right now. Oh, the season has come down to this for Bellarmine.
Stewart to serve. Gets it over the net, hit by Shaw. The set for Elanikiotis. And now on the attack is Bellarmine. Nice defensive play by the libero, and Shaw coming out of nowhere to save that. Shaw coming way out from up front to all the way near the back to save it. He does save it, but then it goes out of bounds. 19-18. Bellarmine. Korb loving where he's at, saying, come on, guys, let's go. Another timeout on the floor. And Kirsten, what a match.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's lived up to the billing of a championship match between the 2 top teams in the biggest enrollment division. And the smaller enrollment schools we saw earlier in the T2 match, and Sacred Heart Cathedral Fight and Irish really putting together a solid team effort. And I think we've seen solid team efforts, however a little bit streakier from Bellarmine. Bellarmine certainly with, it seems to be a few more offensive weapons. Perhaps those offensive weapons other than Shaw get overshadowed by him on St. Francis, but Bellarmine has been inconsistent.
Bellarmine right now looking to string together some more points to capture this game and send it into an all-indecisive Game 5. Up front, they have Keene, Nolan, and Crockett. Bazul behind them as the libero. Behind him is Korb, and to serve is Stewart. Stewart with the serve. It's tapped by Costello. Shaw with the kill attempt there, but nice awareness by Bellarmine. And then coming back on the kill was George Elanikiotis.
That was so huge. That must have felt so great. Great anticipation.
19 all. And now the Lancers with the serve. It's Elliott Lowe bouncing the ball. And he gets it over the net. Crockett tapping it up. Korb over the net. And now it's going to be set for Elanikiotis, who hits it off of Korb. Korb diving to his left to try to keep that one in play. And in the process, hits the ball back behind him.
Shaw's fellow senior coming up big late in this pivotal set 4.
20-19, yes. Elanikiotis thrilled. You can see it in St. Francis's eyes. And this time Elanikiotis hits it up against the net, and the main ref there saying that it was out of bounds. So now it's 20-20. Ball goes back to Bellarmine. Aiden Crockett to serve. Crockett gets up in midair, serves the ball. Now it's low, setting it up for Shaw. And being in good position there was Costello to have Shaw's back. Some good block attempts there by both Keene and Nolan for Bellarmine. The set from Stewart. The two-handed overhand touch there by Korb, no good. And then he lasers one.
Boy, I thought Korb had made such a bad error with that.
Yeah, I thought he carried it, right?
He held the hand it too long. He could have been called on an illegal set. He could have been called possibly maybe on a lift, but instead he comes back and drops the hammer.
That's what it's called. It's called a lift, right? When you kind of hold on to it that long?
Yes.
21-20. He does, however, get the point as the refs give a no call there. Playing it off the bounce from the ceiling is the Lancers. Bazul with the great forward extension dive to keep the ball alive. And now it's Korb getting it over the net. Shaw with the set for Lowe. Back to Shaw. Blocked by Bellarmine. Point to Bellarmine. 22-20. And that gets the Bellarmine fans on their feet. One fan in particular waving her blue pom-pom in the air as her Bells now have a 2-point lead and are looking to push this into an all-in-deciding Game 5.
Rare hitting error from James Shaw. We saw both teams having to adjust anytime playing off such a tricky ceiling as the one here at Independence High. Requires a lot of concentration. Kudos to the Lancers. Great pancake on Bellarmine's side from their libero, but then Shaw trying to end it instead, buries it in the net. Bellarmine just 3 points away from evening up this match, but I'm sure the Lancers would like to get out of here in 4.
They would.
Weeknight.
Yeah.
Finals.
Right?
Right?
These kids have a lot to focus on. And look at Bellarmine's fans. Let's go Bells, let's go Bells. That's what they're chanting right now. They can feel it. I can feel it.
The floor is reverberating.
Aiden Crockett, like I said, he has been very successful on the serve tonight. Seems like each time he's been on the serve, they've gotten at least 2 consecutive points. Strung together. Another great serve over the net, set for Shaw, and Bazul with the great defensive play. But in the end, it's Eleniki Otis going up top and getting the spike. 21, now 22. And Eleniki Otis will be the one serving the ball for St. Francis. And once again, that lavender towel making an appearance.
He's really come up huge. Shaw's the money maker, the marquee player, but Eleniki Otis has really come up big here in the end of set 4.
And so now it's Korb who sets it up for Keene. But in good position was St. Francis, and point to Bellarmine.
That was so strange as Matson lost the handle. I'm sure he was trying to keep that ball on his side of the net, but good anticipation by the Bells.
And Matson can't believe it. His head buried down, even though his teammates saying it's okay, clapping 5 with him. Bazul up front for his serve, 23-21. And now it's Crockett setting it for Stewart, who sets it for Korb, and Korb gets the point, and now the Bells are 1 more point away from sending this to a Game 5. 24-21, Bells lead by 3, and they are at game point status with their libero, Jason Bazul, to serve. Bazul gets it over the net. It's back to their libero for St. Francis, that being Matson. Little one-handed tap by Costello, no good. And now it's Korb with the point off the net. Jason Korb. I'm sorry, make that up. Kevin Korb. And Kevin Korb gets the win for his Bellarmine Bells here in Game 4, 25-21, which means we will go into an all and mighty and decisive Game 5 here from Independence High School in San Jose.
Michael, St. Francis did not shut the door when they had the opportunity. They kept it open. They had their opportunities to get out of here in 4. Credit Bellarmine for making it through that door and causing a game 5, but I think St. Francis really kind of let up the accelerator a little.
Where has Shaw been? That's been the big question. In these late games, 3 and 4, I have not really seen too much from him, or as much as we saw in games 1 and 2. Ellen Nikiotis has stepped up, but Bellarmine, just like you said, you leave the door open for a team that's won 5 straight titles, they will find a way to get in. And I'm wondering why they're not switching sides of the floor for Game 5.
They don't switch sides.
Okay.
Well, they have the coin toss to see who's going to serve, and they'll stay. Bellarmine will stay on this side of the floor.
Well, I think that favors the Bells in a huge way.
A mental perspective, they just won a game on this side of the floor.
Well, every game so far in this match has been won from that side, the left side.
And we know how superstitious athletes are.
Sure.
I certainly was when I played volleyball. Always favored certain.
What were some of your
floor.
superstitions?
Oh, come on. Let's not talk about me.
What position were you? Were you a setter?
I'm really outside hitter. I'm really excited for all volleyball fans that remain in this gymnasium. It's been a long evening here at Independence High on a Tuesday night. But, hey, the table has been set.
Yeah.
Game 5 of a D1 championship match.
Does it get any better than
rivals. It doesn't get any better than that. You just hope both teams play exceptionally well, minimize their errors in Game 5. It's only going to 15, win by 2. There's not enough breadth to absorb any errors. Bellarmine's really hurt themselves with service errors tonight. And you'd like to see an error-free Game 5 from both teams.
Kevin Korb going for the tape. He's taping up one of his fingers now. And you're seeing a lot of chatter here from this Bellarmine Bell squad. A lot of hand clapping. They feel that they now have the momentum. And I'm not going to disagree. I think they have the momentum as well. As you said, the pressure's really off Bellarmine at this point. You're talking about St. Francis needing to win this one as they have put together such a good year. They have the best player in the West Coast, if not the entire nation, in James Shaw. And everything is built up to this point for St. Francis to win this CCS title. Whereas St. Francis, they've been here before. They're here again. They're not psyched out at all. If they win, they win. And that'd be great, 6 straight. If they lose, heck, they know how good they are, and they know they'll probably be right back here next year.
And the fans letting their teams hear their support. Bellarmine out on the floor early. St. Francis with plenty to talk about, and I'm guessing the Lancers conversation goes a little bit like this. We need to do a better job passing so we're able to set James Shaw as much as possible. That's the conversation.
Yeah, you got to give it to your best player in times like this. One more time, Kirsten, if you can, recap the scores for us, please.
St. Francis took game 1, 25-23. Bellarmine came back 29-27 in game 2. St. Francis 25-23 off a Bellarmine service error in game 3. And then game 4, the only margin that was greater than 2 points, it was a whopping 4 points. Bellarmine forcing game 5 by winning 25-21.
Thank you so much, Kirsten. And it'll be Josh Stewart, the junior setter, to serve to begin game 5 for the Bellarmine Bells. Hits it right at the libero, that being Matson for St. Francis, in the block attempt by Bellarmine. Gets things going in their direction. That was Alex Keene getting the point.
And I'm actually okay with St. Francis going to Nikiotis because he's been hot. You know, you also, you want to go to Shaw, who's your moneymaker, but you also want to get the ball to the guy who's feeling it. So, but, great block by the Bells. I think Shaw buying some time for his squad by drying up the floor. Our sports writers to our right who are writing on deadline, I'm sure they've rewritten their open about 6 different times right now. They could throw it all out, and that's what I'm talking about. You've got to minimize that. That's the 13th Bellarmine service error. They haven't had an ace for some time.
Josh Stewart, a line drive up against the net, makes it now 1-1 tie. Elliott Lowe will now serve for St. Francis, gets it over the net. It's tapped up by Aiden Crockett. The kill attempt by Nolan off of Costello. Point goes to the Bells. They get the serve back. It's 2-1. Crockett to serve now for Bellarmine. Supis out of his seat, loving what he's seeing from his teammates out there on the floor.
Can't wait to get back out on that floor.
Oh yeah, Super Supis.
Back-to-back service errors by Bellarmine. If they do not win this match,
and
that will play a big part of it.
That might be nerves settling in for Crockett, who did so well in serving the ball in Game 4. Service error there makes it 2-2, tie game. Korb, shot blocked by James Shaw.
No. That was a hitting error in the middle of the net. See, that's a problem with service errors. As we've seen throughout this match, service errors, hitting errors seem to follow so quickly.
So, I'm sorry, 3-2 now the score in favor of St. Francis off the hitting error by Korb.
All 3 points for St. Francis are off of errors.
And now it's Stewart who sets it back for Nolan.
Huge for Bellarmine.
And it seemed as if Stewart was going to put it over the net, but it just kind of hung around right in that middle ground, and Nolan came from behind to get a ferocious hit in playable area for the point. 3-3, and now it's Bazul on the serve. The libero. Shaw rifles one right at Stewart.
Bellarmine into the net, trying to block Shaw. Another error.
So far, all of the points for St. Francis in this Game 5 have been on errors by Bellarmine. 4-3 now to score. St. Francis to serve. It's Matson, the libero. Stewart setting it up for Korb. Is that in bounds? It is not. 5-3. The first point St. Francis gets not. Well, I guess, yeah, that would be a hitting error, right? So, yes, points still all on error.
2 hitting errors and 1 net violation. Not a clean Game 5.
And then Super Supis whiffs. Can you believe that? 6-3, St. Francis. And that gets Scott Peterson out of his seat in a hurry to call a timeout and ask his squad, what is going on here?
St. Francis, sure, when it comes to a match like this, you want to win a match, but if the opponent wants to give it to you,
you'll take it.
You'll take it.
Makes it a little bit easier, right?
When you're facing a team that has a James Shaw, you can say a lot of these are forced errors throughout this match. He makes you serve riskier, hit riskier, but I feel these errors in Game 5 have been all unforced.
Yeah. And now you were hearing a let's go Bells, but that has quickly been outmatched by the let's go Lancers chant from the St. Francis fan faithful. They will serve up by 3, 6-3 to score. Matson, the libero, to serve. Gets it over to Bazul, the libero for Bellarmine. Nolan tapping it. And a laser of a shot of a kill by James Shaw. 7-3. And it seems as if St. Francis is about to run away with this one.
Blockers can't get a paw on it. The first outright win of a point by St. Francis here in Game 5.
And they're doing just as you instructed, Kirsten. Get it into the hands of your best player. And Supis comes up large after a nice set.
You'd like to see Bellarmine take advantage of having Supis in the front row. They need to make it pay off for them.
4 serving 7. Nolan in to serve. Josh Nolan's serve handled well by St. Francis. And now back over to Bellarmine. It's Crockett setting it up for Korb in front of a sprawling Matson. Point goes to Bellarmine, and they will retain serve 5-7. Josh Nolan, the junior, with the ball, but we will take a timeout as St. Francis head coach Mike Rubin saying we need to think about some things, boys.
Well, St. Francis didn't even get a block up on Korb. In fact, they haven't gotten a block up on him a lot tonight. He really makes it look so effortless from the left side. That was not an easy set to hit off of, coming from behind him. Great job by Korb. Is Bellarmine clapping a bit in their huddle, a lot of nervous energy.
And beyond the players' chat, it was almost pretty darn quiet in here. You could almost hear a pin drop. Five serving 7 as we're back from the break.
Yeah,
and yeah, I smell a little smoke. Is there a barbecue?
Shut the door from the barbecue.
Someone's cooking up some hamburgers. It smells good. But Peterson, it is distracting. And it might be distracting the players on the floor as Bazul has the ball hit in front of him.
Shaw goes line, mixes it up, goes line, catches the Bell defense.
Bazul looked dazed and confused when trying to handle that hit that came his way. It's now 8-5. St. Francis with the serve. Korb right at Elanikiotis.
Misplay by Elanikiotis. He jumped up in the air, however, should have stayed on the ground and bent his knees. Misjudged that shot.
6 serving 8 now. And it goes back to Kevin Korb. Korb, who will be on this team again next year as a senior, and freezes as he did not like the throw that he made in his service attempt there, so he will get one more.
It is actually smoky in this gymnasium.
There we go. Korb gets it over the net now here on try number 2. It's Shaw whose shot is blocked, but St. Francis is able to handle it well, and then a little tap there by Costello.
No coverage. The back row of Bellarmine needs to cover their blockers. I hope the smoke detectors don't go off.
Yeah, no,
and
it is.
The sprinklers. It's really, I'm not joking, it really is becoming a factor.
9-6 was the score, and now lights are turning off out front. Now they're turning back on. Now they're turning off again. Now they're turning back on.
What
7-9.
time for this to happen.
We've seen some awkward lighting going on here at this gymnasium.
I'm surprised the officials blew the whistle. It is darker in here. 4 hits from St. Francis.
Bellarmine storming back right now. As St. Francis looks dazed and confused. 8-9 the score. Bellarmine on the serve after the hit up against the net from St. Francis, and then St. Francis comes back by getting a point right in front of Josh Nolan. It'll be 10 serving 8, 5 points away from victory are the St. Francis Lancers.
The lighting has completely changed in this gymnasium, and it just shows the concentration of our officiating crew, our official table, and the teams, that either it's okay with them or they haven't really noticed that it's become much darker in this gymnasium.
Hey, these boys just want to play. They could care less if there's one light on. As long as they can make out hey, believe me, they want to see who's going to win this championship, and each team is hoping it is them. 10 serving 8 was the score. Bazul with the dig out. Korb with the kill right at the youngster.
Shaw went off speed. I'm sure he wants that back. Could have dropped the hammer.
The freshman Avery, the younger of the two Aylesworths, cannot handle the shot by Korb, and so now it's 9 serving 10. Supis takes a break. To serve will be Josh Stewart,
who had the first service error of this game 5.
Stewart gets it over the net, almost a ace, but dug out nicely, and then the block! Deflected off of St. Francis. The block attempt there by Keene and Nolan goes all good for Bellarmine, and we're all tied at 10.
St. Francis head coach Mike Rubin almost called a timeout, almost made the tee, but thought better of it.
Now all fans on their feet, especially the St. Francis fans. 10-10 the score. Stewart over the net, but the service ace makes that service error as it goes wide. Deep.
Third of game 5, 2 by Stewart. Bellarmine had dug themselves in early and then righted it with some sparkling play.
So bad serve there from Stewart. Makes it 11-10 the score in favor of St. Francis. Stewart setting it up for Aiden Crockett, who gets the kill. 11-11, and Supis is juiced on the bench.
Crockett had a service error as well. Let's see if he can take advantage. He's got the best serve on this Bellarmine team.
He is sure taking his time.
He needs to put it in play.
11-11 the score, and a point for Crockett.
Maybe he doesn't need to put it in play. He can serve up an ace just like that.
An ace that deflects off the libero Matson to give Bellarmine the lead. 12-11 here from Independence High School in San Jose. Folks, just want to let you know really quickly that you can listen to this game and watch the boys volleyball championships live and on demand, all on CIF-Central-Coast.tv. You can also buy a DVD or Blu-ray of today's game and watch a replay on CIF-Central-Coast.tv. Part of the Play On Sports Network. What an exciting time it has been. And look at Supis. He clapped 5 with just about every other teammate on the bench saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. And that was the rally chant that we saw from the champs in the previous game when Tam was saying the same thing to his Sacred Heart Cathedral prep teammates. Let's go, let's go. And right now, a 12-11 score in favor of Bellarmine, and Crockett has been going strong on the serve throughout this entire match. A hard hit shot at Costello! And then the kill attempt by, was that Shaw again?
Costello, what a pass on the money. Setting up, allowing his setter to set Shaw. That was so huge by Costello in the back row.
12-12 now the score as St. Francis gets their serve back, and Nolan!
Still playable. Shaw makes it count.
As it went from pancake to up against the net to still playable, and now it is still playable despite a ball that was hit high into the air, and Bazul gets it over into St. Francis territory. It's a set for Shaw, right at Bazul's face. He cannot handle it, and the score is now 13-12 in favor of the Lancers from St. Francis High School.
That is the most well-earned point by St. Francis tonight. Bellarmine couldn't help but almost quit on that, but they couldn't recover, and that may just be the momentum boost that can carry St. Francis a little bit further. They only need 2 more points.
Bellarmine calls a timeout, and this might be the best volleyball game I've ever been a part of.
Certainly one of the most competitive. We've got the best high school player in the country, possibly a future Olympian on one hand. We've got 2 D1 players. On the other side of the floor, we have 2 coaches who have committed their lives to the sport of volleyball, know it so well, both as players, as coaches. And, you know, the table is set, and these 2 teams have delivered.
Delivered like a round table pizza. 13-12 is your score. Bellarmine out front.
And, you know, we probably have viewers and listeners from all over the country who wanted to catch a glimpse of James Shaw. That might have been the only reason they tuned in. We're so happy they get to see such a competitive volleyball match as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've really got the best of both worlds. They got to see a great talent in Shaw and just an all-out battle between both squads. Stewart saving it as he comes close to running into us at the table here. Crockett puts it over the net. The set for Shaw, the great dig out there by Bazul. The set for Nolan, who tries to go for the kill, but in good position was low.
Shaw should be over the net on that. Instead, it's championship point. You cannot You have to let Bellarmine be able to handle the ball on their side of the net, and it did look like Shaw was over the net and touched it.
And Crockett went over there to explain what he thought of the call, and the referee closest to us, the referee too, said that you guys need to sit down and calm down, and Crockett now still pleading his case to the main ref.
Well, Crockett should be saying, please confer with the referee too and ask him to come over.
And now head coach Scott Peterson making his case known.
This Bellarmine really needs to regroup.
Is that the stellar athlete getting the benefit of the doubt? Maybe
no. I think the referee. It's a tough job being up there in the stand. That's why you have to, well, here we go, championship point.
14-12, like you said, championship point on the line for St. Francis, and they totally miss. George Costello.
Called into the net on Nolan.
And they do call into the net on Nolan. And what a way to lose a championship. St. Francis, ladies and gentlemen, is your 2012 Central Coast Section Division I Boys Volleyball Champion.
Well, and you hear the boos, and I think the boos may be because the fans do not understand what happened on that last play.
Do you know what happened? Can you tell me what happened?
Well, according to the rest of the table, a net violation was called on Bellarmine, which it looked like it could be, but however, that didn't seem to be very communicated very clearly for long. But I thought
what a heartbreaking way to lose a championship.
Bellarmine would not walk out of this gym extremely disappointed. But when you lose a match like that on back-to-back, at least the first call that set up championship point, yes, you will have a bitter taste in your mouth when you leave this gymnasium.
Wow, what a way to lose a game. 2 points, the final 2 points for St. Francis in that one, both heartbreakers. The final score, St. Francis wins 25-23, 27-29, 25-23, 21-25, 15-12. And so they will get presented the trophy.
And Michael, I have to say, I really felt that Bellarmine had the momentum at the end of the match.
I did too, going into Game 5 at the beginning of it.
And I think that head coach had a timeout left, and when you come off a really distasteful call like that, it just all happens so fast.
Should have called the timeout, right?
So fast, you kind of want to call a timeout. But of course, you're also hoping as a coach that would be overturned. You want your floor captain speaking with the referee, asking to confer with his fellow officials. But at the least, that's a really hard one to take. But
Coach Peterson with the lost look on his face.
Gosh, it just happened so quickly. He didn't have a chance to call a timeout. His team, still you're so outraged. Of course, all of us, our producer even agreeing, it did look like James Shaw over the net. I'm not one to tend to blame officials for losses of games and matches because we're only human, they're only human, they do their best they can.
I'm not saying that you do blame, but as a former player, you thought they made the right call? No.
No, I think we all agree that James Shaw was over the net on that. But I'm just saying that, those are the lumps of the game. Right. And that's not an easy stand to be up there. You can see the baselines very well. Sometimes you think, well, it happened right in his face, but he may have been looking at something else. And that's where you confer with the rest of your officials to make sure you got the right call.
So there was a missed call there, but the last one you thought was perfectly fine? The championship point was good?
I thought he was into the net, but that call came late. That didn't happen right away, and I think it wasn't communicated to the fans, and that's why there was booing as well.
Right.
But yes, my gosh, how many hours have they played? It's past 10 o'clock now, and to have it end like that. And also, I'm sure St. Francis is happy to hoist their second ever trophy, but you know what? You want a clean victory as well.
Well, a victory nonetheless for St. Francis, who captures their second CCS title in the sport of boys volleyball. 4 years ago from their first title, or 4 years since their first title, I should say. And so, folks, we'll be back. We can break down this game for for hours, as much hours as this game was played. But we're going to take a break, and then me and Kirsten are going to confer on who we think. We're going to confer like the refs didn't on that call. We're going to confer on who we think should be the player of the match, and then we'll have an interview with that person coming up shortly. Folks, stick around.
And now the team captains, please come forward to receive their second place team trophy with our congratulations.
All right, take care of yourself.
And now introducing the 2012 Central Coast Section Division Boys Volleyball Champions, the St. Francis Lancers.
By two.
Please come forward as his name is called to receive congratulations for championship season. Number 2, Zach Manson. Number 3, Elliot Rowe. Number 5, Avery Aylesworth. Number 8, Evan Aylesworth. Number 10, Ryan Park.
Hey, who'd she say to go with?
Number 11, Hakeem Alibo. Number 12, Serene No. Number 13, Ryan Schultz. Number 14, George Eleniotis. Number 16, Landon Sturk. Number 17, James Shaw. Number 18, Jimmy Frazier. Number 20, Jeff Costello. Number 21, Matt Larson. Assistant coaches Vince Piano, Evan Passion, and the head coach of the Lancers is Mike Rubin. We are presenting Coach Rubin with the Central Coast Section Championship Coaches Flag. Congratulations, Coach Rubin. And now the team captains please come forward to receive their first place team trophy with our congratulations.
His arm was like that far over, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for both these teams? Congratulations to both teams for an outstanding season, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance this evening in support of these high school student athletes. Please drive home safely.
Tell Jeff. Medical expenses. Put this in the line of fire.
Dude, I get James Shaw autograph on this. Sick.
Sign the other side.
Dude, these gonna be worth heck of money, bro.
Yeah. Go for it. What now? This one? That's you.
That is?
Yeah. I put a bunch of them over. Well played, guys.
Hey, Supus. Hey, best of luck at Pepperdine, huh?
That's rough. Shitty way to end it. Alright, yeah, take care. Yeah, maybe next week or... Yeah, next weekend. Okay.
wasn't just unforced errors. It was like we get a dig and then we just do something stupid with it and give it right back. It's like they're just gonna set games. We get a dig, you need to put it away. That's just so white well. That's exactly what happened in game 3. Game 5 kind of came down either way. You had enough opportunities to do the game.
I remember being on this end of it against
now you know how Mountain View felt.
Well, I was on the end of this in the Los Gatos game when you were over there.
I didn't go to 5.
No, but I've been on this side.
It's the first time I've ever lost.
I know.
All right, are you ready? Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah, you go, man. I'm gonna hold that cable down.
Huh? Okay. All right, folks, we are back here. It's time for our player of the match interview. And who else? James Shaw. It was pretty much picked from before the match, and then, you know, you guys just ended up going out, executing, and showed us that we were going to be right in our pregame choice. James, it's a pleasure to be with you here for the player of the game match. So, I have a question. How does it sound to be 2012 CCS Boys Volleyball Division I champions?
It's unreal. I've been working for this for 4 years. We've all the seniors have on this team, and it was an incredible journey, and it's an incredible way to end it this year.
And James, you know, you were the WCAL Player of the Year in the conference. I mean, just all the accolades have gone to you this year. You guys win the WCAL title not only in the regular season but also in the playoffs in front of your fans at home. And then you guys just, you know, stay true to your ¡1 seed, kind of storm through. Although you did have it, it wasn't quite the easy storm. It was a tough storm tonight that you had to face in Bellarmine, a team that had won 5 straight CCS titles.
Yeah.
You guys put a stop to that streak. You guys played them 3 times this year. You won all 3 of those matchups. What's it like playing a team for the championship that you're so familiar with, both as a league opponent and, you know, in the section?
Yeah, I would say it's a little nerve-wracking. I mean, there's not a game I come into that I'm not nervous, but
especially
get that
a little bit closer.
There we go. Especially today, it's definitely a nerve-wracking thing. I come in, you know, ready to play. Oh, definitely. I get nervous before every game. It would be pretty much unnatural for me to not get nervous. So.
But how do you get nervous? I mean, you've been, you know, volleyball has been bred into you since before you were born, with your dad playing and coaching at Stanford, and your older sister playing at St. Mary's. How does a guy like you get nervous when you've been around the sport for so long?
I think I get nervous because I just want to play well for my teammates. I kind of fear letting them down, and when it comes to game time, though, it's not a problem. I'm pretty much ready to go, and I'm not really nervous anymore when it comes to game time. So.
Well, I don't think you let anyone down in attendance tonight, or anyone that's been watching you throughout your 4 years at St. Francis High School. And so now the future lies in Stanford. You're committed to Stanford, one of the most prestigious colleges in the nation. Congratulations
thank
there.
you very much.
And you get to go to a school in which they know a lot about your family. You know, your dad did coach there. He coached a couple national titles for the women's side, and then he also coached the boys squad. And has there been any advice for you from Pops in going to that school? Or?
I mean, I would say probably just to keep your mind open. My mom has actually told me a lot just to enjoy the experience. You're never going to get to go to college again, and to go to a place like Stanford is going to be awesome. So. And
what about your sister? The fact that she played and went to a prestigious school in St. Mary's. Has she given you any advice for doing both? Because it's hard enough being. I graduated from Sac State, and for me it was just hard enough being a college student with all the distractions. Let alone, I can only imagine how hard it is being a college student at Stanford and an athlete.
Yeah, I mean, my sister, she's always stressed out there. I mean, she knows what it's like to be a student athlete, and when she talks to me about her life there, it kind of prepares me. It makes sure that I'm going to be prepared for everything that comes my way, and My sister has been a huge influence on my volleyball career, because she's basically the one who got me into it. I saw her play club volleyball, and she was awesome out there, and I was just like, hey, I want to play the sport.
Sure.
I was a basketball and baseball player before this, so she has had a huge influence on me, and she's continuing to have a huge influence on me as a student athlete at St. Mary's too.
And not only, most players would kind of stop at the collegiate level and say that's the highest level you can go to, because there is no professional volleyball league, or at least not a known one.
Yeah.
But for you, there is no ceiling. A lot of people are saying you could be the guy that could potentially play for the Olympics in 2016. How does that feel, just to have your name thrown around in that high regards as to being one of USA Volleyball's top prospects?
That would be unreal. I think 2016 is probably a stretch, because I'd still be a senior in college. So.
But you would forego.
Oh, I would definitely.
Your chances of you can't pass that up, right?
Yeah, of course. If I had a chance to train with the national team, that would be huge. But I still think I have a long way to go. I have a lot of work to do. So those guys are all really, really. Those are the best players in the world.
Well, you've already trained with the junior national team, and how's that? That's pretty.
Well,
cool.
I haven't trained with the junior national team.
You've been selected to the team.
Yeah,
though, right?
yeah. I've trained with the youth national team. I went to Argentina with them, and that was a great experience. Playing internationally it's the highest level of volleyball I've ever played at. So that was a huge experience for me. It prepared me definitely for this whole season with club and school and everything. So yeah, that's been a huge experience for me, and hopefully I'll make the junior team this year and play in Norseca's too.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I don't want to take you too much away from your family, your friends, and of course just celebrating the championship. So I do want to thank you one more time, James, for agreeing to come and answer some of my questions. As you deserved it every step of the way.
Thank you.
From pregame to in-game and now at postgame. You were our player of the match, and we couldn't have thought of a better individual. Lights are fortunate to end this thing anyway. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much again.
I wish you really the best of luck in your endeavors with both college and the Nationals. Hopefully I see you in the Olympics in 2016.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, folks. That's James Shaw of the 2012 Division I Central Coast Section Boys Volleyball Championship Team, St. Francis Lancers, and a Stanford-bound college student. Folks, have a great night. Hopefully you enjoyed our broadcast of the match here from Independence High School in San Jose, California.
Hey, all the best luck to you, man. Congrats.